In Florida, they had a good record down there, winning 16 games, their most ever. And of course, coming out of Boston now with all kinds of confidence, the fans behind them here, this figures to be the best Blue Jays season ever this season of 1983.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge with Chevy S10, Canada's hot-selling new size pickup with standard V6 power that lets you out-tow Ford Ranger by 500 pounds and tow twice as much as any import, taking charge with the best pickup 4-cylinder and V6 gas mileage ratings. Chevy S10 pickup, maxi cabin blazer, no other trucks compare.
Now, your Chevy dealers taking charge with low 10.9% financing available on S10 pickups.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched grow so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide for Canada, please stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. We stand on guard, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The Yankees and the Blue Jays, opening day at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, opening day number 7. And it is not the mildest, By any means the coldest, 8 degrees Celsius unofficially at game time. A couple of years ago, they played the first game, and it was all of 10 Celsius, 50 degrees. But today, as Fergie told you, the wind is the key factor. You'll see the balls swirling around Exhibition Stadium. And there's the story right now. It's 7 Celsius at 44. So that wind up to 35 miles an hour is bound to be a big factor here. I know Bobby Cox, Bobby Maddox said before the game, gives him fits having to play in this kind of stuff, but it's the same for both teams.
It is, Don, and the ball is carrying good in hitting practice. I know it's carrying good in left field. Hitting the ball into wind in right field is going to be awfully tough. Alexander pitching for the Yankees has been tough for the Blue Jays, Don. He's 3-1 in lifetime. And this spring he beat him 2 games, pitched very good.
Bobby, we're watching Dave Cashin of Labatt's making the presentation to Damaso Garcia as the most valuable player award for the Blue Jays of 1982. And indeed, what a tremendous season Damo had. Would have had 200 hits easily had he not taken a pitch on the hand that kept him out for a little more than 3 weeks in the latter part of the 82 campaign. They looked for big things from Garcia this year, but he's gained a bit of weight, Bobby. Not maybe as quick as he was last year.
Well, I think Damo has got the confidence now, and he'll have a good year, Don.
Neil McCarl now will make a presentation of the Toronto Chapter Baseball Writers Association Award. So the Blue Jays of 82 being honored as the Jays of 83. And just 7 changes in that team. Get set to perform before the home fans for the first time. Recipient is Buck Martinez, now jogging out. One of 2 Blue Jay catchers. Dave Stieb. Player of the Year award going to him, of course. And there's not much doubt about that from his pitching record of 17 wins and 14 losses, getting off to an opening day victory in Boston, although not a good day for Dave Stieb. He was a little bit wild, walked a few, but nonetheless did check the Red Sox on 3 hits.
Don, the big thing about Steve, he improved toward the last of the season with his walk and strikeout ratio. He was pitching games where he'd walk 2 and strike out 7, 8, which is very good for him.
Jesse Barfield and Dave Stieb, Damaso Garcia, Buck Martinez, recipients of Baseball Writers Awards, opening day 83, and this is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
It's everybody's responsibility to be aware of danger on a construction site. Awareness is know-how. We've got it. Let's use it. Produced by your Construction Safety Association.
Don Chevrier with Bobby Maddox, Fergie Alver, back with you at Exhibition Stadium. As the opening ceremonies continue, prior to this game with the New York Yankees, one of 2 scheduled this weekend. And while the wind is the question mark now, the rain will become a bigger question mark, forecast for late this afternoon. We hope it is much later.
Don, I think one thing we got to watch early in the game on Jim Gott is his control. If he's able to get the ball over, he's going to be awfully tough. He's got a good slider, and he's come up with a turned-over fastball now.
Well, here's a man. We'll check his fastball out. He's the Lieutenant Governor of the province of Ontario, the Honorable John B. Aird, who has the honor of throwing out the first pitch of the 83 Blue Jays season on home turf. Checks the rosin bag. Takes a look, checking the defense, which is non-existent. He'll have a huddle now with a catcher before he throws. No, just moving into closer range. A little bit outside, but it's there. And so the official pitch by the Honorable John B. Aird gets this baseball season underway here in Toronto. The crowd still coming in. Of course, Exhibition Place a bit of a mess with a home show on, and public transportation the best means to get here, and they're all lined up still trying to make it outside. Let's get down to Fergie Alver now.
This city of Toronto is really excited about the Blue Jays. What's your assessment of the club?
Well, I think they should be excited about it. They're a fine ball club. Our scouting reports show that they're a well put together club. They have good hitting, they got good pitching, and I think they have a great manager.
I know that Dick Young, a writer in New York, had picked the Blue Jays to finish ahead of the Yankees. They seem to be excited about the Blue Jays, even in other cities, which I think is a first.
Well, I'm glad to see that, because this is a good baseball town and a good ball club. It took them a long time to put this team together, and I think that they're going to do a good job. I really do. I think they're going to be tough. I think the Eastern Division is going to be tough all the way through.
Billy Martin back for his third trip as Yankee skipper. And as we said at the outset, the Yankees off to a bit of a rough start in Seattle, losing the first two, won the third game 8-1. And for them on this cold day, as you look at the umpires, Derwood Merrill behind the plate, Marty Springstead, Russ Getz, and Jim McKeon around the bases. This is the first time the Yankees have had to play outdoors since they left Florida, and they'll be feeling the effects here as the wind is always gusting off Lake Ontario. Jimmy Williams out there representing the Blue Jays at the umpires meeting at the plate. It was 7 years and 2 days ago that Bill Singer threw the first pitch for the Blue Jays against the Chicago White Sox. It was a called strike to Ralph Garr on a snowy opening day, game 1 in 1977. And now let's join the man who will pitch for the Blue Jays today with Fergie Oliver.
Jim Gott, it's typical opening day weather, cold and windy. How will that affect you pitching?
I think it'll be good for me. It's to the pitcher's advantage always when it's cold, especially early in the season when the batters are trying to get their swings down. I think it's good for me if I run the ball in on their hands and make them not want to come up to the plate.
You went 3 innings against the Yankees in spring training, gave up 2 base hits. Why were you so successful?
Well, the main thing why I had my success all throughout spring training was getting ahead of the batters and then making them swing at maybe a bad pitch or going after something that I wanted them to hit.
What an outstanding spring Jim Gott had. Literally won his way into the starting rotation, and it comes up that he's the third man out of the gate for the Blue Jays in terms of starters and works this opening day game this afternoon. Jim Clancy went back to Florida the other day to pitch in the Instructional League. He got a late start because of the delay in the birth of child number 4, late getting down to camp. And so they'll have Clancy ready for next week here in Toronto. And again, as you know, the Blue Jays staff regarded around baseball as one of the best in the game.
It is, Don, and I think with the years' experience that Gott and Leal and those fellows have, they're going to be a lot tougher than they were last year.
Well, Billy Ball comes back to Yankee Stadium. In fact, they will open there on Tuesday afternoon. The Yankees home opener in New York. But today is Toronto's day with this huge crowd assembled here. And as we say, still coming into Exhibition Stadium for the first of an abbreviated 2-game series. And here come the Blue Jays. They take the field at home for the first time this year.
Garcia. Number 4, Alfredo Griffin. Number 5, Rex Mullins. In right field. Number 22,
Hoskins. Powell. In center field. Number 15, Lloyd. Mosby. In left field. Number 10. Dave. Collins. The catcher. Number 12. Ernie Wentz. And pitching for the Blue Jays, 38. Jim Gott. There they are, the starting 9 for the Blue Jays against the New York Yankees, who will send the usual formidable Yankee lineup up against them here this afternoon. But Jim Gott, so impressive in training camp, string of over 20 scoreless innings going for him, was battling with Mike Morgan for the number 4 spot and won that. But in the first month, Bobby Cox really feels all he needs is 4 starters. He may have to go to 5 later on. Willie Randolph leads it off for the Yankees. Jerry Humphreys in center field. Dave Winfield, always dangerous. The left fielder, Steve Kemp, acquired on the offseason. Free agent, bats cleanup, plays right field. From California, Don Baylor, the DH, hitting 5th. Roy Smalley's at short. Ken Griffey's at first base. Greg Nettles, the veteran, at third base. And Rick Cerone, the former Blue Jay, is catching. Early season numbers on the Yankees right there, a little bit misleading. You could expect Cerone to go down 667 and Baylor way up from his 111 starting out. As Jim Gott, who was bothered by blisters much of last season seems to have shaken that problem off, and he takes his warm-up pitches, was 5 and 10 despite the blisters in 82.
Al Whitmore has him hurrying his tempo, Don, in between pitches and his delivery, and he's much better in command of everything now.
A young man who I think is gaining confidence, too, as he goes along. He was taken under the Blue Jays' wings last year, cast off from the St. Louis organization. They gave up on him, and Whitmore's done wonders with him, and I'm sure God is going to return that kindness and that instruction he's received.
Well, he's certainly more of a pitcher now than he was last year. He tries to hit spots, and he turns his fastball over at times, which helps him against left-hand hitters.
So mechanically, he's a good deal better than he ever was.
I definitely think so, Don. Like I say, the main thing we should watch for early in the game is his control. If he gets ahead of the hitters, he'll be tough.
A man not in the Blue Jay lineup today. I talked about the very first game ever played here. Hit third man to hit at Exhibition Stadium, George Orta, who's the left side DH. Of course, Cliff Johnson is in there today for the Blue Jays at DH. And here's a slow motion look at the delivery of Jim Gott. So Willie Randolph, with his very high lifetime on base percentage, hitting 200 here early in this season, just 3 games gone, steps in, and baseball's back in Toronto for yet another year, and we all expect it'll be a great year for the Jays.
Willie likes that ball upstairs a little and out over the plate where he can extend those arms, and let's see how they're going to try to pitch him now.
Swings on Gott's first offering and sends it foul, almost straight back. Yankees have traveled 3,000 miles today from Seattle in their opening 3-game series, arriving last night. 2 strikes to Randolph. On deck, Jerry Mumphrey and then Dave Winfield, who has homered in each of the first 3 games and driven in 5 runs. A little tight and up high. It's now a ball and 2 strikes.
Now it'll be interesting to see if he comes back outside with a slider away from Randolph.
Nope. Just missed below the knees there. It is 2-2 as he pitched him tight again. Another close pitch. Goes full at 3-2. Derwood Merrill behind the plate. Charging is Griffin. The scoop and the throw and run away. Randolph is gone.
That's a play that showed that Alfredo Griffith's playing with much more confidence than he did a couple of years ago, Don, and he certainly has improved as a shortstop defensively.
Good pitch by Gott, tomahawk by Randolph, and as you see, the charging Griffin made a fine play, erasing Randolph easily. Jerry Mumphrey now for the Yankees with a run batted in on their 3 games thus far. Back to Griffin, who's getting a lot of early work. Very quickly, 2 gone, New York. Of course, you all know the story of how Alfredo had to again battle this year, more than ever, to make this team, and certainly the Jays were justified in making him their starting shortstop with the knowledge that Tony Fernandez, with his skills, will have to develop a little bit more down in Syracuse. You can't bump this man out of the lineup at this stage. Dave Winfield now with a homer in each game, 5 RBIs. He didn't get his 3rd homer last year until the 20th game and finished with 37 home runs in 82. He had 3 homers against the Jays last year as Gott throws it downstairs for ball 1. But against Toronto, the Blue Jays were very effective in handling Winfield at 82. He hit just 167 against them.
I think they try to crowd him now. Ball slider away that time.
Nice pitch. 1-1. I guess if there's any way to try to control Winfield is to pitch him tight, as you say, crowd him. Nobody on and 2 gone Yankees, top half of the 1st inning at Exhibition Stadium.
The last pitch Scott made is a wicked pitch for any hitter to hit. A low slider outside. It's a tough ball to hit. If you do hit it, you don't hit it well.
The 1-1 to Winfield is inside. But while Jim Gott has missed, he went 3-2 on Randolph. He certainly is not excessively wild and is very close to that plate at all times so far, Bobby.
I think he's spotting his pitches, Don.
Again, just missing downstairs. He falls behind 3-1 to Winfield. So Winfield now gets to be pretty selective when it comes to the next offering from Gott. 2 gone, nobody on. We're at the top of the first. No, he walked it. That was down low. Winfield becomes the first Yankee base runner of the day. And that'll bring up a man the Yankees purchased with his power, Steve Kemp, in the offseason.
This is one of my favorite players to watch play. He gives 110% all the time. He's a good hitter and he's a great hustler.
Hitting .385, as you can see coming in. I think the Yankees finally did make a couple of pretty solid acquisitions in Kemp and Baylor, both bound to help this team.
Both of them are established hitters and well-known hitters. They know the pitchers in the American League.
Well, the Yankee offense is there. As you see, strike one thrown to Kemp. The question remains with a lot of teams, the Red Sox another one of them, will the pitching hold up for New York? They're going to score all right. Gott missing. It's 1-1. Winfield's at first, 2 gone. A couple of infield ground balls to Alfredo Griffin by Randolph and Mumphrey for the first 2 outs. And now the tough left-hander Steve Kemp. The 1-1 offering high for 2 balls and a strike. The Yankee starter today is Doyle Alexander. It was to have been Shane Raleigh. That's been moved back a day. Scheduled tomorrow now for the matchup with Dave Steve in game 2 of the series.
I think one of the weakest spots the Yankees have, if they do have, is their defensive infield. They have Smalley and Nettles who are getting along on age, and Randolph's a good one, and Griffey is just a transplant, you might say. But that's their weakness if they have one.
The 2-1. Ball strike 2. A moment ago, Gott might have been asking the umpire at first base if it's okay on this cold, windy day to blow in his hand. And I'm quite certain that permission would be forthcoming. Upshaw got a piece, but not enough. A quick throw is there in time. Donaldson Garcia reacting very, very alertly. Has Gott covered beautifully at first base on the hard hit ball to Upshaw. There's Dama with a play to the pitcher Gott, and they got him by that much. So the Yankees strand Winfield, get nothing in the first inning, and this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
All Nelson and Adam wanted from spring break was a good time.
Nelson, wherever you look, skin, skin, skin.
What they got was an adventure. They got trouble. They got kidnapped.
Oh, real fair, 2 against 1, right? I'm wearing a towel.
But eventually, they got just what they wanted.
I still don't know where my underpants are. Why, what happened to them? I think they ate them.
Held over at the Capitol No. 1 Kitchener, the Stratford Drive-In, and the Sunset Drive-In Cambridge.
Budweiser salutes all the people who help us go in the snow.
Our best for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. For all you do. Our best to you.
Yeah, this Bud's for you if you like your beer with that distinctively clean, crisp, Beechwood aged taste and smoothness that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
You know, you don't have to be inside a bank to do most of your regular banking. You can do it all easily and conveniently with Commerce Instant Teller. And if you want, outside of regular banking hours, you can make deposits, withdraw cash, transfer funds, even pay many bills. In fact, Instant Teller can do almost anything except talk.
You forgot your card.
What are you waiting for? Apply for Instant Teller today. You can count on the commerce.
One improvement for the Blue Jays this year is a double-dimensioned speed at the top of the order, represented by leadoff man Damaso Garcia playing at second base today, and Dave Collins, acquired from the New York Yankees, will be in left field. And the power of Willie Upshaw comes up. The power of Cliff Johnson, the DH acquired from Oakland. Catcher Ernie Witt. Right fielder today, Hoskin Powell. Rance Mullenix, third baseman, homered in his first game in Boston Tuesday. Lloyd Mosby, they look for improvement from him in center field. And batting ninth, Alfredo Griffin. So as the Jays get down on the order and make the turn, you got Griffin with speed, Garcia, Collins for the power of Upshaw coming up. So a lot of dimensions that Bobby Cox didn't necessarily have last year, and an example right there of extra speed in the base paths. Doyle Alexander makes his debut this afternoon, and oddly enough, if he wins, it'll match his victory total of last year. Disabled twice, he broke his right hand, jammed it against the dugout wall in anger, then had tendonitis, finished 1-7. Did not play against the Blue Jays, but lifetime is 3-1 against Toronto, getting set to pitch to Damaso Garcia. Strike one. You made a good comment about that inning-ending play a moment ago, Bobby, while we're away, and that is the Jays might not have done that a year or two ago, those people at least.
They're playing with much more confidence, those kids, and got covered good, and Upshaw ducked down, didn't try to catch the ball like he would have a year or two ago, and you can see the poise and confidence they have now.
Sure can. The ball on a strike to Damaso. Dave Collins on deck behind him. Cracked down in the hole. It will not get through, but there'll be no play by Roy Smalley, and Garcia gets a base hit.
I think that play there is very evident of what I was talking about, their defensive. Their range is not that good now, but it's cold, but Nettles and Smalley are getting a year older, of course.
Well, you do have aging Nettles and a man who does not possess great range at shortstop in his own right beside him in Roy Smalley. I think the Yankees are one of the teams certainly talking with the Blue Jays about Griffin's services. May have second thoughts as the year goes on. Here's Dave Collins now, the ex-Yankee. As they check back on Damo at first base. Willie Upshaw now, left-handed hitter, as Collins is at this moment, follows in the on-deck circle.
This Alexander throws a lot of off-speed stuff, and if he got a speed gun on him, I don't even think it would register.
Now, you don't worry about too many fastballs with any velocity from Doyle. As you say, he's around the plate with off-speed, changing stuff.
He knows how to pitch. He's a cunning pitcher out there.
Cracked foul by Collins, who had a frustrating day in Boston in the second Blue Jay game, which they lost 7-4. But no question, a man who knows he has a home here and a regular spot. He can play every day somewhere in this lineup for the Blue Jays, I would think. Hit hard. Randolph has one himself and gets the double play.
Randolph got a terrific jump on that ball. He made a good play and made an easy double play out of it after he caught it.
Didn't have far to go to touch second, and no question about the throw being in plenty of time. So they clear the bases for Willie Upshaw, now hitting with 2 away here in the Blue Jay first. A scoreless ball game at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Welcome viewers right across the country, including those in British Columbia watching today. Catching Blue Jay action for the first time in the last little while. You're seeing a much better ball team than we left you with a couple of years ago.
Oh, no doubt. And like I say, these boys have the poise and confidence that only experience can give them.
More good news. I'm told the spacecraft Challenger has just landed safely. Right on target, right on time. So they're back safely with 2 strikes to Willie Upshaw. Inside to Willie, takes it 1-2. On deck is Cliff Johnson. Had a home run, a towering home run in Boston. Had it not hit the light standard, might still be going at Fenway Park. And his first hit as a Blue Jay off the Green Monster in left field. Upstairs goes Alexander again. The count is 2-2. We'll be with you again tomorrow. Although the forecast isn't all that promising for game 2 of this series, 1:30 Eastern time. Upshaw pops it. Wind will carry it well out of play.
I was talking to Willie this morning at breakfast, and he told me you can't pull this guy. He says you got to go the opposite field with him. It looks like that's what he's trying to do.
He's heading in the right direction, although the wind is blowing a lot of balls right out of there. Into foul territory, as a matter of fact. That might be fair in batting practice. Hits it the conventional way on the hop to the first baseman, Griffey. And that is going to be all for the Blue Jays, who get the base hit from Damaso Garcia and failed to cash in on it. One complete, no score at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
I got me a big muffler problem here, boy, and you Top Guns are gonna fix it. Ah, yes. Very fast. Very professional. Now, what's in this for me? What's this?
Midas Muffler Guarantee, Sheriff.
Ah, that's real cute, boy.
No, sir. Just real good.
Behind a very special pair of Levi's jeans, you'll find a very special symbol, a red tab, the color of a blue jean legend, a legend of fit, comfort, and style, of durability not just promised, but proved. It's a legend that hasn't changed in 132 years, cast in these rivets, pockets, and seams. Be part of the legend. Ask for Levi's red tab. The jeans are blue, the legend is red.
There are two kinds of household air pollution. The visible stuff like smoke, dust, and pollen, and even worse, the invisible stuff. Those ghostly odors that keep coming back to haunt you. To get rid of them, get the Philips Ecologizer. Only the Philips Ecologizer has a filter that effectively removes both visible and invisible air pollution. Nothing, absolutely nothing cleans air like the Ecologizer from Philips.
Inning number 2, and more Yankee power represented by Don Baylor, the DH, standing in there now. He'll be followed by Roy Smalley and Ken Griffey, and it is low for ball 1. Baylor hitting just 111, struggling, but we're only 3 games into this 83 season.
Well, I look for Don Baylor to be a tremendous help to the Yankees. He's a good man on a ball club, too, and he's a real good hitter and always driven in a lot of runs in his career.
Missed up high. It is 2-0. Nice to bring a little glimpse of springtime to viewers on the prairies. Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. Certainly in Saskatchewan, where they have the unfinished business of curling still ahead of them. And Silver Broom in Regina next week. This is Mullenix from third base. Plenty of time to erase Don Baylor. One away. They'll bring on Roy Smalley, Yankees shortstop. Plagued the last couple of years with recurring back problems, acquired from the Minnesota Twins. He can play third base or shortstop where he is today. Pretty well around the infield, a pretty versatile player. Another left-hander testing Jim Gott, throws a strike to him. 0-1. Smalley off to a good start this year, 385. And he gets a base hit over the head of Damo Garcia. First hit off Gott today as Smalley reaches with 1 away.
There's no doubt Billy wants to keep Nettles and Smalley in there as much as he can in order to get that power. Well, I think somewhere along the line he'll have to rest Nettles and put Smalley at third probably, and Oscar Robertson to play at short.
There is Mosby fielding that ball in the outfield in behind Garcia with a base hit by Roy Smalley. Ken Griffey, not a happy year for him last year at first base today. They promised to use him more. They got a rookie Mattingly behind him, which shows great promise for the New York team. And it's 1-0 as Smalley has just nailed one of Gott's pitches for the first Yankee hit today. Becomes the second base runner of the day. Griffey at 400 so far. Yankees had a good spring, very productive spring. Displayed their power time and time again.
He almost balked.
Up the middle it goes. Runners at first and second now. Back-to-back singles by Smalley and Griffey.
Getting back to Griffey, Don, he had very good years in the National League, and last year he had just a so-so, so he may bounce back to what he is, a pretty doggone good hitter.
Greg Nettles serious talk about him becoming a Blue Jay. Several factors involved in the decision not to acquire Nettles, his age being one of them. And it'll get tougher for Greg as he goes along, but he's got so much ability going for him and so much experience. He can still play. That's a foul. 1 strike. He's got 1 away, and Smalley and Griffey on the base paths. Back-to-back singles off Gaunt. He's the number 8 man in the lineup, and Rick Cerone, the catcher, is due next. Inside corner, it's there. Strike 2.
There was a slider in there, and it was a good pitched ball. He wants to try to get Nettles hit that ball on the ground for a double play now.
A ball at 2 strikes. Lou Piniella not with the Yankees in the lineup. Eligible to come off the disabled list on Wednesday for the Yanks' second home game of the season. Nettles sends it not that deep in right field. Stationary is Hoskett Powell. Now with the wind has to adjust the tag. There'll be no advance of the base runners. Good throw by Powell. Nettles gone, 2 down. Pretty tough to get that ball out of here in right field today, the way the wind's behaving.
It's almost
Bobby.
impossible, Don, and I think Smalley did the right thing by not trying going over the third. It's 2 out, so if he gets thrown out at third, it would be of no avail. Now he's in position to score on a base hit or an error.
Wind gusting up to 35 miles an hour from right to left field. This is pop foul by Rick Cerone. This crowd still filling up here at Exhibition Stadium, and an enthusiastic opening day crowd for the Blue Jays, full of anticipation of great things in '83. That's low for a ball and a strike. God has not pitched that badly. He's been very close. Not outrageously wild at any time today through almost 2 innings.
And when he's wild low, which is good.
Good side, keeping the ball down. The 1-1 on its way to Cerone. Check swing, reach for it, 1 hop. Here's Upshaw. Inning is over. Yankees get 2 base hits with Strand, 2 runners. They've gone through their lineup. 1.5 now. It's a scoreless ball game at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
When you're feeling up and your friends are near, the last light, all you want in a beer, now ain't that nice, so nice, the best light on ice, tastes light and smooth, so smooth, and goes down so nice, let's get a last light.
This is the 1983 Lawn Boy Supreme, powered by an engine designed to last 50% longer than most other lawnmower engines. This Lawn Boy can do the work of 5 lawnmowers. It cuts, side bags, rear bags, mulches. It'll even shred leaves. Summer after summer, year after year, the hard-working 5-in-1 lawnmower by Lawn Boy. Lawn Boy. As time goes by, you'll know why.
Another one bites the crisp. Talk about coffee crisp. And it won't be long till another one's gone. Everyone likes a crisp. Beneath that Red Bull wrap is a nice light snack. You know I can't resist. Coffee crisp. Another one bites the crisp. Talking about coffee crisp. And it won't be long till another one's gone. Everyone bites a crisp.
To supply the power to this ball club, being realistic, and if you stay healthy, what sort of a season do you think you can have?
Well, playing on a platoon basis, his body is stressed. I don't think 20, 25 home runs was out of question. I, think I'm perfectly capable of reaching those plateaus, but mainly just to supply the power and maybe do some of the things for the ball club that I've done to him in the past, maybe.
And I'll say he certainly did do to the Blue Jays in the past. He's got 24 home runs to go to reach that objective this year. Homered in Boston, inning 1 of the second game, and with the wind blowing the way it is, and right-handed power looks all the better in there today. Johnson with a 1-1 count, followed by Ernie Whitt and Hoskin Powell here in the Toronto second. The scoreless game in which the Yankees have out-hit the Blue Jays 2-1. The Yanks have stranded all 3 base runners. That is well up and out with that wind carrying it deep down the third base side. So it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Cliff Johnson's a wonderful addition to the ball club, I think. He killed us when I managed the club for 2 years, and he's always dangerous. He can get a ball out of the park for you, and that's something which we haven't had for some time.
He used to feast on Blue Jays. There's the Yankee defense. Nettles, Smiley, Randolph, Griffey around the infield, thrown behind the plate, and Winfield, Mumphrey, and Kemp in the outfield in support of Doyle Alexander, the New York right-hander. There's the 1-2. Johnson just stares at it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They gave up, Oakland did, Johnson for Elvis Woods, who was released almost 2 weeks ago, now outright by the Oakland A's. So another Blue Jay deal is checked out. The benefits of the Collins-Morgan deal for Dale Murray will certainly be shown as the season progresses. A full count to Cliff Johnson.
On that Collins deal, there's a young kid named McGriff that the fans of Toronto are going to hear about in 3-4 years.
Walked him. So the Jays have the lead runner on for the second time today in the person of Cliff Johnson. Ernie Whitt, the catcher. And an RBI his first time up in Boston back on Tuesday. Will hit from the left side. Ernie's driven in 3 runs on the season. He and Willie Upshaw tops in that department.
He and Willie Upshaw are hard workers, and it has paid off for both of them. Ernie is a more than adequate big league catcher now. He's a real good one.
Swung late as Alexander blows it past him for strike 1. You mentioned the experience, the poise of Upshaw and Damaso Garcia. There may not be more improved catcher, certainly in baseball, all of last year than Ernie Whitt.
Oh, he's really come along, and like I say, it's his dedication and hard work.
Just foul. Ooh. The Yankees weren't looking for that down the third baseline.
Ernie was way out in front on his first swing, and then he just laid back and tried to hit that ball the opposite field that time.
So 2 strikes to him now with Johnson at first. Nobody out. On deck is Hoskin Powell, the right fielder. No score. Bottom of inning 2.
Even though the first base side is pretty well open there, it's awfully hard to pull this guy. If you wait, you might be able to pull him, but if you're trying to pull him, you'll be way out in front of him.
As was the case with the first pitch that eluded Whitt. Now you see the gap with Griffey, mindful of Heathcliff Johnson, the base runner at first base. And that sails outside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Good eye by Ernie Whitt on the 2-strike count. Alexander, one of the best Yankee pitchers in spring training, gave up just 3 runs in 18 innings with a 1.50 earned run average. Faced the Jays twice in the spring. 6 hits and a run to them, and 12 innings worked against Toronto, and it's 2-2 now to Ernie Whitt.
Sometimes that can work to the advantage of the hitter facing a guy a couple times beforehand. You know the pitcher a lot better, and as a result, I don't think these fellas are going up there trying to pull this fellow.
There goes Johnson, hit hard, base hit by Ernie Whitt. Johnson around to third base as Blue Jays have runners on the corners and nobody out. So Whitt patiently avoided the tendency to pull against Alexander, sliced one just fouled on third base, brought the count back even to 2-2, and then singles into right field.
He tried to slip a fastball up high and in on him, and Bernie, waiting on the ball, was able to hit it into right, pull it. That's the only way you can.
You saw the hustle of Johnson there, not renowned for his speed, but in full flight around second base, heading for third on the hit by Witt. Hoskin Powell now with no average in 83. Utility outfielder for the Blue Jays. Coming off the bench with his left-handed hitting talent, but again, that wind very tough out in right field, blowing in. Another left-hander, Rance Mulliniks, followed by Lloyd Moseby here in the Blue Jays second.
You see Billy's got his shortstop and second baseman back.
2 strikes to Hoskin Powell.
So they're giving us the run. They're giving the Blue Jays the run if Hoskin just hit a ground ball down that way.
That's right. No score yet. Even in hits at 2. Bottom of the second. If you look at the Yankee defensive alignment. 2-strike pitch. Check swing. He went all the way around for a strikeout. Alexander's first today. Powell just couldn't hold it back long enough.
That really hurts because now the lineup is set for a double play and they're out of the inning. Mulliniks has got to get a fly ball out of this at least.
Mulliniks with a wind-assisted homer in Fenway Park on Tuesday, but the wind blowing out that day is not cooperating so much in that area here this afternoon. Ian Upshaw homered in that 7-1 Blue Jay victory. Punches that ball through the infield. The Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead as Johnson scores. So again, not allowing Alexander to force him to pull the ball. He punched it through smartly, and it's 1-0 Toronto.
Alexander tried to slip that fastball by him again, and he just can't do it. He isn't fast enough.
RBI number 3 for Rance Mulliniks. And the Blue Jays' third base hit of the day. Now the power of Lloyd Moseby with Witt over to second base. Mulliniks parked at first, 1 away. Ball 1. Blue Jays have only lost 1 opening day game at home, and when they lost it, they really lost it. 15-4 to the Milwaukee Brewers last year. That happened to a lot of teams, courtesy of the Brewers' power in 82. Good eye by Moseby. Had a thought about it, but settles for 2-0 count now. Moseby, ball sinking quickly, drops in front of Jerry Mumphrey. Second run is on its way to the plate, and Ernie Witt makes it 2-0.
As a ball player, it means so much to the fate of Blue Jays, Don. If Moseby can hit and drive in 65 to 70 runs, the Blue Jays are going to be plenty tough.
Ball sinking in a hurry. Moseby teed off on it. Ernie Witt hustling around those base paths to make it 2-0. Mulliniks over to second base. Moseby at first, still 1 out. The Jays have 3 hits in this inning. They have had 4 base runners against Doyle Alexander and still just 1 out for Alfredo Griffin, the shortstop. Jays left-handed hitters have been punching that ball the opposite way and up the middle at the expense of Alexander. 2 runs on 4 hits Toronto, 0-2 for the Yankees. The 0-1 to Griffin. Reached for it, popped it up, scrambling back at second base. Mumphrey coming on from center field, and everybody holds with 2 away as the ball was not that deep. So the top of the order for Damaso Garcia, who opened this game with a Blue Jays single, then was doubled off. Dave Collins hitting into a double play. What a season Garcia had a year ago. Just 15 hits short of 200. Surely would have reached that figure had he not been injured for about 3 weeks later on.
He was probably the most outstanding second baseman defensively and offensively in the league last year.
They get the All-Star game and played August 15th instead of mid-July. He'd have been there. They recognized his talents a bit too late. Into center field, not that deep for Jerry Mumphrey as the wind brings it around, and that'll be it for the Blue Jays here in the second. But they get 2 runs on 3 base hits and a walk by Doyle Alexander. Blue Jays lead it 2-0 to complete. This is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
You worked hard to buy your home, and you put a lot of hard work into building your equity in it. Why not let an Avco Homeworth loan help put that equity to work for you, for your children's education, and all the other plans and dreams you and your family have shared for so many years? Isn't it about time you started enjoying some of the worthwhile things you've been missing? After all, there's so much in life waiting for you. Avco Homeworth Loans, for the worthwhile things in life.
One afternoon, we asked Phyllis Ross to drive her car as far as she could on 1 liter of her gas.
So, maybe Shell can better your mileage. You can try.
The Shell dealer tuned up her car, gave her some driving tips, and exactly 1 liter of Shell gasoline blended for good mileage. Will she go further?
10% further. Oh, can we do that again?
Come to Shell for mileage.
You know how much a piece of grit in the eye can hurt. Imagine how a piece of metal like this can hurt the rest of your life. To work safely, you've got to have eye protection and proper tools. It takes know-how to prevent an accident. We've got it, let's use it. Produced by your Construction Safety Association.
Back with you from Toronto, inning number 3. We want to issue a warm baseball welcome to all the fans watching the game on CFCF Channel 12 in Montreal. They'll be with us today and tomorrow. And their Expos off to a great start, winning their first 2 games of the National League season. A coast-to-coast audience and the full CTV network here this afternoon from Exhibition Stadium. Wherever you are, you're, I trust, enjoying this one and seeing a pretty good matchup with the Yankees and Blue Jays. Jays have been tough on the Yankees early on in previous seasons, and again is the case today. Willie Randolph in there with a 1-1 count. Grounded to Griffin back in the first. After Randolph, you've got Jerry Mumphrey and Dave Winfield here in the New York third. Up high, 2 balls and a strike.
That was his changeup, and he hasn't perfected that as well as he'd like to, I know.
That still needs some work.
It sure does.
But knowing the dedication of Jim Gott, it'll come. Griffin again ranging to his left, stabs it, sparkling play in time.
Fantastic play.
Well, if you were wondering why they decided to keep Alfredo, take a look at this.
He'll go over and make a one-hand stop and then right himself and get something on the ball. And he throws out Willie Randolph, who is sort of a speedster. He's certainly not a slow, much better than average runner.
And if Tony Fernandez looks like Nureyev out there, there's certainly a lot of Baryshnikov and Mr. Griffin on that play. 1 gone for the Yankees, and Jerry Mumphrey is standing in there now from the left side. Dave Winfield on deck. The 0-1. Missed inside as time is called. A ball and a strike.
To people who've watched Gott come along for a while, he isn't throwing as hard as he did last year so far, but he's pitching much more wiser.
That one got away on him as it dropped into the dirt. Appeal at third base, they say no, so it is 2-1. Third base umpire Jim McKean, a former Canadian Football League Potter, backup quarterback with Saskatchewan and Montreal. 3-1. Jim Gott falls behind. But if he is jittery on opening day, he certainly hasn't shown it to anybody.
No, he hasn't. He has good poise out there.
Sure has, and he forces a slow roller that Upshaw will wait for. Gott will cover on and make the second out.
He's come a long way as far as confidence and poise are concerned, Don, since last year. This was one big concern of manager Bobby Cox, I think, was his lack of confidence on Jim's part. But he's attained it through experience last year and shown it off well today.
Well, they saw the awesome raw potential of him, which had to be harnessed and was by Al Widmeyer, the pitching coach, as he continues now to work especially on a changeup with him. He'll pitch to Dave Winfield here, who walked in the first inning. The money man of New York and the power man for the Yankees last year and early into this season. Takes it outside and low for ball one. I guess Gott, he's thinking, do I make him fish or do I jam him as I did back the first time? But the first time it cost him a base on balls.
He's thrown 2 sliders way away from the plate. He's going to have to come in there with it now, and that's what makes it dangerous on a hitter like Winfield. Eliminates the guesswork.
It's a dangerous pitch right here coming up. You're right.
He knows Gott has to come in with the ball.
The 2-0 to Winfield. Winfield taking makes it 3 balls and no strikes. Well, I guess if you have to put Dave Winfield somewhere apart from back in his dugout, first base isn't bad with a base on balls. And that's exactly what they'll do. He'll walk him for the second time today for Steve Kemp. Let's join Fergie Oliver now.
Steve Kemp, this miserable weather, how does it affect a hitter?
Well, I think I'm going to go up there and try to get a walk. I don't know. It's going to be pretty bad today. It's not just the cool weather, it's the wind too, and that's what's making it quite a bit colder. And I think really not too many runs is going to win this ball game.
And on the other hand, we could see a calamity of errors out there today with that wind in the outfield.
Well, it's going to be tough. I think the only thing you can do is just try to stay with them and not try to really loaf on the ball. Try to get to where you think the ball is going to be, because there's going to be doing a lot of funny things.
Well, so far it might have done that, but defensively both teams are flawless, and we have 2 runs on the board. Total of 6 hits in the ball game as Kemp goes the opposite way, dropping fast and fair up against the corner. Over the fence it'll go. They will ground rule him there. Around comes Winfield to score, and now we've got a judgment call here as the runners at second base. With a double, they're going to bring him back to third and leave him there. Winfield back to third. Kemp gets a 2-base hit, but does not score him on the ball hopping over the fence.
That's a ground rule double, and everything starts from where the play begins. So it's a 2-base hit for Kemp, and Winfield advances 2 bases.
That's right. With the wind, Kemp talked about it a moment ago. A funny bounce in there, hit the wall and caromed over the fence on the left. Souvenir for somebody out there. So runners now at second and third base with 2 out. It all began with Winfield's walk and the dangerous Don Baylor. The Yankees designated hitter stands in.
That's what's going to make the Yankees so dangerous day in, day out, when you have Winfield, Kemp, and Baylor coming up in order.
Got away from Ernie Witt a couple of feet, but he pounces on it. That story with the California Angels, Baylor's team of 1982. We haven't welcomed fans in the Maritime Provinces and Newfoundland. I certainly want to do that this afternoon, or opening day telecast on ATV. One strike pitch to Baylor. It's a foul, well out of play, first base side. Yankees have 3 hits now on the double by Kemp. Blue Jays have 4. The Jays in front 2-0, but clinging somewhat precariously to that lead right now with 2 out, 2 on, and Baylor batting in the Yankee third.
Well, this is a big hitter for Jim Gott coming up here. He's got to get Baylor out.
Well, that is more than a breeze, I'll tell you, blowing at Exhibition Stadium today. It would certainly benefit the right-handed power of Baylor if he ever gets into one. Going from right to left. Cracks it along the ground. Here is Mullenix. Takes a look at home. The long throw to first is there to Upshaw. The Yankees lead 2. Blue Jays 2-0 lead is intact through 2.5 here on that fine play by third baseman Rance Mullenix. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge with the all-new S10 Blazer. Available with a revolutionary Instatrack four-wheel drive system. Shift from freewheeling two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive high and back at any speed. Try that with any other four-wheel drive system, import or domestic. Taking charge with the most fuel-efficient V6 power available. S10 Blazer. No wonder they're calling it 4x4 Truck of the Year. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
Let's move right out of here. Cutting out for our place. Really glad we're here. Me and the boys and our 50.
A cold, easy drinking 50. Sometimes nothing goes better.
Me and the boys and our beer.
Look out, Martis! I'm back! Okay, Mr. Stringbean. Handle that. Now, what is this?
Best there is, Moose. Taught him everything I know.
We'll see.
The job's done, Moose.
All right. You did good.
Had me a good teacher. You got any more wagons you want fixed?
Blame Top Guns. I want to get it.
There's our cameraman shooting from out behind the fence in center field, Glenn Mowat. He's having a tough time making that camera remain steady in the wind swirling around out there. He gives you the best shot in baseball, I think, that center field camera looking in, as it is quickly popped up by Dave Collins to the shortstop Smalley here to begin the Blue Jay third, one away. So Collins now is popped up and hit into a double play in 2 appearances. Willie Upshaw, who grounded to Ken Griffey at first, stands in there now. Alexander, as you look down the list, has had difficulty with left-handed hitters. Ernie Whitt, Rance Mullenix, Lloyd Mosby have all collected base hits off him so far today. 3 of the 4 Blue Jay hits so far. And he's outside for ball 1 to Willie Upshaw.
Upshaw came up with a low throw, dug a low throw from Mullenix to get out of that last inning. He's improved defensively also.
Curving back into center field for Jerry Mumphrey doesn't move far to gather that in for the second out. He used to call Willie Upshaw Mr. March because of his great spring training, and then of course he didn't get a chance to play regularly after that. And they call him Mr. April, May, June, and right on through the summer from now on.
He didn't have a good spring this year, but he started the season off well, and he'll have another good year, I'm sure.
Here's Heathcliff Johnson, the designated hitter who drew a walk from Alexander in the second inning. Cranks this one to left field. A tough play dropping in front of Dave Winfield for a base hit. Johnson, with ideas of going to second, thinks better of it now. So, as you said, the fans are going to like the work of this guy. Blue Jays much better off in the DH department with Orta and Johnson, no question.
They're both established big league hitters who've played with other clubs and who've hit 270, 280 consistently in their career.
Johnson at first for Ernie Whitt with 2 out. Whitt got a single in the second. Scored along with Johnson as Mullenix and Mosby drove them in for the Blue Jay 2-0 lead they enjoy right now. Whitt to the second baseman, gathered in by Willie Randolph. That'll be all Blue Jays. Home half of the third. They strand Cliff Johnson. The Jays have now left 3 on base. They get the single, and that's all. Still 2-0 Toronto, and this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Start cutting next winter's heating costs now with Union Gas. Convert off oil or replace your old gas furnace and we'll delay billing for your new furnace and installation until November. Or if your old oil furnace is up to it, its burner is worth $50 when traded in for our lowest cost off oil option, a gas conversion burner. Get the full story. Call Union Gas toll-free at 1-800-265-0562 and start cutting next winter's heating costs now.
When it comes to fertilizers, golf courses throughout eastern Canada rely on Nutrite. That's why people concerned with their lawn choose Nutrite Super Turf, a balanced fertilizer of superior quality. Farmers also trust Nutrite 3- and 5-star fertilizers to improve the quality of their crops. This is why home gardeners can count on Nutrite's Garden Special. Ah, yes, Nutrite is a growing concern.
You know, I suppose we all have our favorite Oscar memories, but I love the acceptance speeches. Remember these? I guess this proves there's as many nuts in the Academy as anywhere else. I had a speech prepared in 1959, but I forgot it.
Rich Little hosts The Envelope, please. Saturday at 7 on CKCO-TV.
This is Roy Smalley leading it off for the Yankees in the top half of the 4th inning. Yogi Berra and Don Zimmer, the ex-Boston and Texas manager, coaching at third base for Billy Martin. The ball is sliced foul by Roy Smalley. Bobby Maddock, the Yankees return home. They open up on Tuesday, and guess who's going to toss the first ball out?
George Steinbrenner?
No. Jolton Joe DiMaggio.
Well, he was quite a ball player, as everyone who follows baseball knows. And I had the privilege of playing against him in the Coast League in 1936, and he was some ball player.
Now Yogi's staying warm today, coaching down at first base for the Yankees. It's now a ball and 2 strikes. Smiley got a single, one of 3 hits I've got so far in the 2nd inning. Fouls that away to hold the count. After Smiley, it's Griffey and Nettles for New York here in the 4th. But the Yankees' power is in evidence not just in spring training, but early into this season. In the 3 games against Seattle, they collected 33 hits, 6 home runs, the 3 by Winfield we mentioned, 2 by Steve Kemp. Rolling foul, first base side.
That was a good changeup he threw Smalley then. He had good motion on his arm, and he got it in a good spot.
Blue Jay roster.
There it is now. He's see that ball break away a little from the hitter.
One left-hander on the Blue Jay roster this time. Dave Geisel, but down goes Smalley. That is the first batter Jim Gott has gotten out on strikes today. He has walked 2.
The first baseman, number 33.
Ken Griffey with a 2nd inning single stands in there now with 1 gone. What Joe DiMaggio thinks all these years later when he throws that first ball out in New York on Tuesday and looks at the salary standing around the Yankee outfield compared to what he made in his day.
If he was playing, Don, I don't think they have enough money to pay him.
Perhaps not.
He was that good. He was good in everything, and he had it upstairs too. Had a good head on him.
Mind does boggle when you think what it might take to sign a DiMaggio today or a Ted Williams. You're right, may not be enough money. 2-1 to Ken Griffey. Pulls even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Man with a brilliant pitching future, Jim Gott. Getting to show that it is coming into shape right here in 83. 2 strikeouts in a row as he gets Griffey.
As I mentioned before, Don, Al Widmar had Jim Gott speed up his tempo. Usually it's the other way around. Pitching coaches want guys to take plenty of time between pitches.
That fell off the table.
Yes, he turns that ball over now, which is another good pitch for him.
Nettles Fly to right field to Hoskin Powell, his only previous time up today. 2 gone, both on strikeouts. Nobody on. Yankees top of the 4th. Toronto on 5 hits leads New York 2-0. Nettles sends that high but not deep. Alfredo dancing under it, takes it in. 3 up, 3 down. The Yankees go quickly and quietly here in the 4th inning. Still 2-0 Toronto. And from Exhibition Stadium, this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Buying this new car to see the Rockies was a great move, but it wouldn't have happened without a Commerce personal loan. They offered us competitive rates, plus a payment plan geared towards our budget.
If you've got something worthwhile in mind, Commerce Personal Loan can help make it happen. You can count on the Commerce.
Budweiser salutes all the people who make the music we love.
There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. For all you do, our best to you.
Yeah, this Bud's for you if you like your beer with that distinctively clean, crisp, Beechwood aged taste and smoothness that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud for you. Play the provincial, it's fabulous fun. You love that.
1,000 surprises every week to be won.
Our $5 chicken, and it's good for 5 tries.
Friday could be your day. Good luck could go your way.
Play the provincial, the weekly provincial. Yes, sir.
500,000 is the weekly grand prize.
You love it.
Instant prizes up to $5 grand inside.
So when you need a ticket, better get one today.
For the provincial lottery.
Jimmy Williams and John Sullivan, the coaches for the Blue Jays, around the base paths as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning for Hoskin Powell. Struck out, the only strikeout victim of Alexander so far today. That came back in the 2nd inning. The check swing that he wished he hadn't gone that far around with that got him. Powell effective at 82 for the Blue Jays in spot duty.
Hoskins, a very famous fastball hitter, you might say.
Strike 2.
He doesn't like that off-speed stuff at all.
He sees a fastball, he tends to jump on the first one coming at him, I would imagine. Lifts this one into center field. Again, the wind will take it right to Jerry Mumphrey for the first out. So Hoskins 0 for 2, and that'll bring on Rance Mullenix, the 7-8 spots. Mullenix and Mosby each with a base hit and a run batted in for the Blue Jays this afternoon in this 2-0 lead. We'll be with you again tomorrow from Exhibition Stadium, 1:30 Eastern Time over many of these stations. Blue Jays and Yankees. Strike outside corner to Rance Mullenix. Mullenix hitting .400 coming in through 2 games in Boston, has tacked on this base hit here today. Jumps over top of that ball. Just getting over it. 1-1. The Jim Gott towel around the head, waiting for his turn on the Yankee 5th inning. Randy Moffett, ex-Giant Houston Astro, beside Jim Gott with the Blue Jays bullpen core this year. He'll add some experience. Crunched foul, first base side. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Rance. Mullenix just joined the Blue Jays in time for last season, and as you know, Bobby, it became a pretty good situation, a make-do situation originally with Orge and Mullenix sharing third base. It worked out well.
It sure has. Mullenix was a valuable addition, and Bobby Cox platooned those 2 guys and got a lot of results out of them.
Nobody picked up too many splitters in the Blue Jay bench last year, the way Cox wheeled them around.
Oh, Bobby did a tremendous job in platooning his players, and this fellow hadn't played. He sat around with the Angels and the Kansas City Royals for about 3 years, and he's a better ball player right now than he was last season, too.
The 2-2 to Mullenix. Slow roller down to the shortstop, Smiley. Rance has pretty good speed, but is beaten by a step on the throw for the 2nd out. So 2 gone, nobody on the base paths for Lloyd Mosby. As you look once more at this fighting it off.
He was jammed with the fastball inside. That's what Alexander's tried to do on a couple occasions, and it's cost him with other hitters.
Got away with that one. Now Mosby. Be nice to see Lloyd, after what happened to him last year, Bobby, get a good fast start. I think nothing would do more for his confidence.
Yes, he has all the potential to be a star, superstar, like myself and everybody who's seen him has predicted. And I feel he'll come into his own if Lloyd will let himself come into his own.
Takes ball 1-1-1. You've heard the scouts say that many feel he was rushed right along too quickly, did him some damage. Is the damage beyond repair, even if that were true?
No, I don't. I think it's true, and I think it's that he can repair himself very easy.
Drives it back foul, 1-2.
But the thing about Lloyd is that he gets way up now when he gets 5 for 5, and he has a little tendency, he's beating it, but he has a little tendency to get down when he's 0 for 4 or something. And that comes through experience, and he's had a wonderful spring, and I look for him to pick up.
1-2, lets that foul. Do you think the fact he did not play winter ball would be a plus for him? First time he hasn't done that in a while.
Well, it could be. Mainly, I think, is just knowing that he belongs up here and not get too upset when he goes 0 for 4 or doesn't do as well as he thinks he should.
Lloyd has tended to be his own batting instructor from time to time. Pops this one up. Wynn playing a couple of tricks with it. Smalley has a beat on it and has the ball, so Alexander gets his first 3-up, 3-down inning from Toronto. Jays gone to the home half of the fourth. Their 2-0 lead still intact. But this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Hold it. You ain't going home just yet.
I got me a big muffler problem here, boy, and you Top Guns are gonna fix it. Ah, yes. Very fast. Very professional. Now, what's in this for me? What's this?
Midas Muffler Guarantee, Sheriff.
Ah, that's real cute, boy.
No, sir. It's real good.
Now is a good time to fertilize your lawn with one of CIL's lawn foods. CIL lawn foods contain controlled release nitrogen, so over the summer your lawn is continuously fed and cared for. And that means a thick, beautiful lawn for you and your family to enjoy. This spring, use one of CIL's lawn foods like premium quality golf green or try Cari Grow. Then sit back and enjoy your lawn and your summer.
Crisp, crunchy peanuts. Thick, rich, hot fudge. The Dairy Queen Peanut Buster Parfait. Layer after layer after crisp, rich, cool, and creamy layer. The Dairy Queen Peanut Buster Parfait. It's a mountain of a taste.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
All right, the Yankees and the Blue Jays tomorrow, and of course everyone that comes will get a free gift certificate, a ticket worth $8.50. I just spoke with pitching coach Al Widmar. He said the reason why God has been so successful so far, it's been his fastball, and it's really sinking, Bobby Matic.
Yes, he has. Looks like from up here that his ball is sinking good. He's changing speeds good, too.
Rick Cerone, number 9 hitter for the Yankees, starts off the New York fifth as they're down by a 2-0 score. Reminder again about tomorrow that each fan entering the ballpark gets that free Blue Jay gift certificate. Curving into right field and dropping foul. Just foul.
That was close.
That coupon's good for any 850 field level seat for a future 83 home game for which those field level chairs are available. So that's a pretty good opportunity tomorrow for you fans in the Toronto area to see a good ball game of the Yankees and have the chance to go to one absolutely free later on.
Speaking of the Yankees, Don, I would think that they would probably have the most complete staff, the catching staff in baseball. When you have a guy like Rick Cerone and then Weiniger too, you really got a good catching staff.
Weininger, of course, batted .471 against Toronto last year, so the Blue Jays know what he can do. Coming over from the Minnesota Twins. Here's the 1-1 taken inside, just below the knees by Cerrone. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. After Rick, we'll have Willie Randolph, the second baseman, and the center fielder Jerry Mumphrey. Cerrone takes for ball 3. So again, Gott has fallen behind. He's done that a couple of times, has walked but 2 today, and he is struck out 2 as Billy Martin in and out of the scene there. Can't see much of Billy way back out of that wind in the doorway to the Yankee locker room. Here's the 3-1 from Gott. He got him for second strike. 3-2. So he's battling back gamely.
This is the thing that Jim Gott doesn't want to do, like you mentioned. Don't go to 2-0 and 3-1 on too many hitters.
Struck him out. How about that? Strikeout number 3. Coming back from a 3-1 count and 1 gone in the Yankee fifth. Here's a look at it coming toward the hitter.
Slider that he had out of the way. This is shows you what experience can do. In 1 year, this fella has really come around as a pitcher, what we call a pitcher.
Missed there for ball 1 to Willie Randolph. It looks like he's not making the mistake any longer that I think he did and other young pitchers do of throwing too hard. I mean, he's got velocity certainly, but not too hard.
He's trying to pitch instead of overpower everybody, and he doesn't get flustered if he gets 3-1 now on hitters.
So therefore, not throwing quite so hard means the control's got to be a lot better, which it has been. 1-1 to Randolph. Missed again inside and low. 2 balls and a strike. Jerry Mumphrey on deck for New York. Two and 2 as Gott continues to challenge, getting behind these Yankee hitters, coming back to get the better of them. He has retired 5 in a row now. Make that 6 and his 4th strikeout as he sets down Willie Randolph. The way man is pitching some game, Bobby Maddock.
He sure is.
You'll notice down here that Cito Gaston is up in the dugout, and he's positioning the infielders and the outfielders, telling them where to play. After every Yankee player comes to the plate, the Blue Jay infield and outfielders look over at Cito.
He hasn't made too many misjudgments in that area this afternoon. Just 3 hits off Jim Gott. 2 gone. Jerry Mumphrey, who's 0 for 2. A couple of infield ground balls behind him. Again, Gott falls behind 2-0. But he struck out 4 of the last 5 Yankees he has faced, and the last half dozen in succession. He is retired. His hits were back-to-back singles by Smalley and Griffey in the second, and a double by Steve Kemp after a walk to Winfield, but they were stranded when Don Baylor grounded out. Left side, foul ball. A lot of close calls down those lines.
That was close. That ball's fair. It's a double, cinch double, of course.
The Yankees have stranded 5 base runners. 4 in the first 2 innings. The Blue Jays have left 3. Little high. 3-1. This is what Dave Steve, as you know, Bobby Maddock tends to do so well, is pitch himself from behind situations and out of difficulty. That's what Gott is showing us today, something similar. Through the middle, might have got a piece of Gott on the way through as Mumphrey singles with 2 out for the 4th Yankee hit. The pitch was certainly there on 3-1.
Yes, it's you can do it sometimes, but if you make a habit of it, you're asking for trouble.
Wouldn't want to make a career out of it.
No, you got to stay ahead of the hitters. Especially hitters like the Yankees have.
Stay ahead of the hitters. And age-old rule number 2, keep the ball down.
That's right. And he's done a good job so far of it.
Winfield walked in the first and third innings. And will hit his way out of the base pass this time. He's reached all 3 times. Got now a couple of singles after 2 strikeouts here in the 5th inning. Runners at first and second.
That's where Winfield likes that ball, out where he can extend his arms, and he hits a lot up through the middle. Now, see that ball's out away from him, and he hits the ball right up through the middle. When he can get that arm extension, he is tough.
The Yankees with a go-ahead run coming to the plate. The person is Steve Kemp, with Winfield at first and Jerry Mumphrey over at second base.
He's got one tough cookie up there now.
You know it.
On this Steve Kemp. He's a bear-down ball player, a hard-nosed ball player. Very valuable asset to the Yankees.
Hit the ball hard twice, the double you saw, and then the good defensive reaction.
This is where Gott really is going to have to show what he's made of now.
Strike 1. That reaction from Upshaw to Garcia over to the pitcher. Gott covering, took care of Kemp in the first inning. He almost went 2 for 2.
This is a good test for Jim.
And a tough one. To keep it fair, they don't. Giving Kemp a second life. Blue Jays just a few inches away from getting out of hot water again.
Now that ball sunk. He had a sinking action to that ball.
And a sinking feeling when he saw it roll foul.
Kemp might have thought he was throwing a spitter. He's asking to look at the ball.
Umpire nods. Yeah, that's the ball, all right. 2 strikes to Steve Kemp. Durwood Merrill is behind the plate.
Gott's not out of the woods yet with 2 strikes on this guy.
And still, the battle continues. Kemp and Gott. He has some small comfort in the minor luxury of being 2 pitches ahead of him on an 0-2 count. But nothing else will comfort you when you pitch to Steve Kemp. They say one of the real good acquisitions. Kemp, along with Don Baylor by George Steinbrenner this year, hitting in the middle of the Yankee power section. Tried to get him with a ball that dropped off the table, but Kemp was taking all the way for 1 and 2.
He laid off of that ball good, especially with 2 strikes. A lot of undisciplined hitters would have gone after that pitch.
Jump on it. Two and 2 now.
This next pitch is important. He doesn't want to go down to 3 and 2. If he does, the runners will all start to run. As a result, Winfield could score conceivably on a short double.
No sense putting him on because you've got more grief right in behind on the person of Baylor.
Yeah, you can't put him on intentionally. I believe that was that turned over fastball. He took a little off of it and turned it over.
Collins takes it for the 3rd out as the Yankees get 2 more base hits and strand their 6th and 7th base runners of the day. This is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
Energy Ontario presents the conserving car and the non-conserving car. The conserving car avoids gas-gobbling jackrabbit starts. It accelerates sensibly to hit all the green lights. The tires are always right for the season and are always properly inflated. The conserving car does not have bulky roof racks. And the conserving car participates in carpools and always gets maximum mileage. The conserving car. The energy it saves today is energy we can all use tomorrow.
Last October, I turned on the furnace. Runs like a top. For 2 hours. I called HFC. They specialize in loans. I switched to a gas furnace. The government helped me with a grant, and HFC took care of the rest. I'm doing the best I can in these times, and HFC is helping me along the way.
We're here to help along the way.
Budweiser salutes all the people who help us go in the snow.
Our best for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. For all you do. Our best to you.
Yeah, this Bud's for you if you like your beer with that distinctively clean, crisp, Beechwood aged taste and smoothness that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
The home plate umpire, Durwood Merrill, he came over to the Blue Jays bench just a moment ago and asked for some cotton bat, and he said his right ear is really aching, and it's the wind that's got it hurting.
We saw Steve Kemp with some cotton batting, too, for the same reason. Alfredo Griffin hitting from the number 9 spot is 0 for 1, having fly to center field. Opening day of '83, I want to say hello to 89-year-old Eddie Cass, the father of baseball in Manitoba. We're sure he's watching on CKY in Winnipeg today. One and one to Griffin. That's 2 balls and a strike. Getting behind Alfredo, the top of the order, Damaso Garcia and Dave Collins. Toronto, equal in hits at 5 of the Yankees, holds a 2-0 lead. Inside, it goes to 3-1 as the Blue Jays hit in the bottom of the 5th inning. Remember, this team has lost only 1 opening day home game out of the previous 6. That's to Milwaukee, 15-4 a year ago. They have beaten the Yankees on previous opening days, rolling just foul. So it's 3-2. We'll be with you tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time over many of these CTV stations across the country for the second game of the Yankees-Blue Jays opening confrontation. Although we are not optimistic about the weather forecast we heard this morning, with a lot of rain coming in late tonight, over an inch they figure. There's a walk to Alfredo to start off the Blue Jay 5th. They've succeeded now in getting the leadoff man on in 3 of the 5 innings so far.
Now, this is a perfect situation for Bobby Cox to call the hit and run. You got Damaso Garcia up there who gets a piece of the ball. Griffith can run. It's just a matter of what pitch Bobby wants to hit and run with.
And as the second walk given up by Alexander. He struck out 1 hitter so far. Back they go. Got to hurry. Out.
They pitched out. Figured he was either going or hit and run play was on.
Cerrone gunned that ball down to the first baseman, Ken Griffey. Griffin caught a little too far from home. Stumbled, couldn't get back, and that was the difference. There it was. And he's inside to Garcia. It was 1 for 2. He singled on the first and fly to center, so it's 1-0. Blue Jays have stranded 3 base runners. The Yankees 7 now as Garcia strokes that to center field. Mumphrey back, then up and holds his ground for the second out. That'll bring on Dave Collins. Milwaukee Brewers move in to play the Blue Jays. That series begins on Tuesday, 1:30 games. Also Wednesday the 13th and Thursday the 14th at 1:30. So the power of the Brewers check in. The only question about Milwaukee, well, that's pitching this year, especially with the troubles that have befallen Vukovic. Rally fingers, his injury stemming from last season.
They got a strong effort from Augustine the other day when he pitched a complete game and won.
0-1 to Collins. Strike called 2 to Dave now, who is 0 for 2. He's hit into a double play and popped up to the shortstop, Roy Smalley. And here's, of course, one man you certainly want to see on the base pass. He can still motor. Outside, Alexander missing with it. A ball and 2 strikes.
Alexander's the type of pitcher all hitters like to go up and hit against, but at the end of the day, you got an 0 for 4 or 0 for 5.
Don't like it so well when it's over.
No.
Inside, as Alexander moves that ball in different locations around the plate, it is 2-2. Outside, then inside. A variety of pitches. Collins into left field, dropping in a hurry. Foul.
He throws a lot of off-speed pitches, as we have mentioned, and every once in a while he tries to jam you with a fastball, and he gets away with it sometimes, and other times, of course, he doesn't. He's not that fast. But overall, he's a good pitcher when he's healthy.
I'll say the way the wind, Bobby, is blowing today, you've almost got to pop it over the shortstop's head if you wanted to blow in fair territory.
That's about right.
Collins will select another weapon now. Billy Martin. Must have had a late night on that flight from Seattle. Can't be bored with the action here, certainly. The Yankees down 2-0. A good opening day game. Alexander taking a little break as Collins has his new bat and will stand in against him with a 2-2 count. Goes full at 3-2.
He nibbles around, tries to make you go after a bad pitch. Now he's got to come in there with it.
He does. Collins. Randolph makes a fine play to get him.
That's 2 balls Collins has hit hard at Randolph.
Deserved a better fate, but Randolph made the play for the Yankees. We've gone through 5 complete now. It is still Toronto 2, New York nothing. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Francis Ford Coppola presents the classic novel by S.E. Hinton, The Outsiders, with Matt Dillon as Dallas, Ralph Macchio as Johnny, C. Thomas Howell as Ponyboy, Patrick Swayze as Daryl, Diane Lane as Cherry, Leif Garrett as Bob, and Rob Lowe as Soda Pop, in a story about winning your independence and finding your identity. The Outsiders.
Held over at the cinema downtown Kitchener and the Cambridge Cinema #1.
These days when you purchase a car, you hope it'll last for a long time. So you look for quality workmanship and you're careful about maintenance. The Muffler Man understands just how big an investment your car really is. He'll tell you what's wrong before he starts working your car. No appointment necessary, so you get to your little problems before they become big ones. The Muffler Man has an excellent quality system for every car and light truck on the road. And Muffler Man mufflers are guaranteed for as long as you own your car. The Muffler Man. Good judgment, sound advice. The man you can trust.
Have you claimed all the income tax deductions, exemptions, and credits you're entitled to? Are your figures accurate? Have you double-checked them? Can you guarantee it? We can and do at H&R Block. Our people are specially trained to find tax savings for you. And should your return be questioned, we'll all stand behind you. It really pays to be prepared by H&R Block. H&R Block. We're income tax specialists.
On Chevrier, along with Bobby Maddock and Fergie Oliver back with you as Jim Gott pitches into the 6th inning to Don Baylor, leading it off for the New York Yankees, who trail Toronto 2-0. After Baylor, Roy Smalley and Ken Griffey coming up as Bobby Cox has to be pleased with what he's seen so far this afternoon. Both from Gott, from his players defensively, and from some pretty timely hitting earlier on that produced the 2 Blue Jay runs back in the 2nd inning. Inside as Baylor holds his ground and Gott's in the hole 3-0.
Gott has tried to crowd Baylor all 3 pitches. Bobby Cox is not taking any chances. He's got 2 guys warming up in the bullpen.
Looks like Geisel and Jackson. We'll check on that later as it's a called strike 1 to Don Baylor. And indeed, that's who we have. Roy Lee Jackson, the man on the left of your screen, pitched to 9 batters and got 9 batters out in relief of Dave Steve at Fenway Park on Tuesday. And now young Gott is right back with 2 strikes to make it 3-2. Doug Kelcher, our statistician, is brought up 78 pitches for Jim Gott to this stage, and we're in the 6th inning.
That isn't bad at all.
Not bad at all, you're right. Dave Steve, I think, threw that many in 4.5 innings. In Boston the other day. Stroke to left field. Collins is there. 1 gone as Baylor is 0 for 3 on the day.
That is something. He got behind him 3-0 and still got him out.
Bobby, that's been happening time and time again. 3-0, 3-1. The young man has had a remarkable first outing. Roy Smalley now, who is 1 for 2. He was struck out by Gott on the 4th and singled in the 2nd. Slams that hard, and what a flag by Mullenix at third base.
That's what you call quick reaction.
Wow.
That ball was really hit, and Mullenix reacted, and he got it.
Shot from a cannon at him. So Mullenix takes Smalley out of there with a great play at third. 2 away for Ken Griffey. Griffey hits a foul third base side. 1 strike. Yankees have left 7 base runners today. They got men as far as third base, second base twice. But Gott's been able to bear down when he has to. Pitching from behind so often. He is 1-1 right now to Ken Griffey. This could be trouble moving so slowly, but Mullenix made the throw in time. It got away from Willie Upshaw. That would have been very close at least at first base, but
sure was.
He's safe.
I think Willie took his eye off of that ball. It'd be interesting to watch a replay if we could see it, but he looked up on that ball. Let's see, when Mullenix fielded the ball, he threw it, and I believe it'll show Willie looked away from the...
Let's see.
Just couldn't see with the umpire blocked us out, but he
It's
did.
scored as a hit, by the way. So these teams are playing airless ball. One more look at it now.
He pulled his head out of there.
Yep.
You could see that very distinctly.
And the scorer's thinking is that the base runner Griffey would have been there anyway. I don't know. Nettles is flied to right field and popped up to Griffin at short. With a strike to him now, it is a 1-1 count on that pitch from Jim Gott. 2 away, Griffey at first base in the Yankees' 6th inning. Toronto leading 2-0. Yankees have now out-hit the Blue Jays 6-5. Two and 1.
You feel a lot more easier with Nettles up there with 2 men out playing in Blue Jay Stadium here with the wind blowing in than you would in Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yes.
They've tailored their club a lot to Yankee Stadium, of course, with that left-hand hitters.
The White Sox have tailored their park a little bit to the power of Luzinski and the others. They moved home plate up 8 feet. So a lot of those close plays right of the wall are going to benefit the Bull now, going all the way out conceivably. White Sox look to have a pretty good team this year. By many to finish first in the West. Gott missing, goes 3-1 to Nettles.
He sure is flirting with danger. Going 3-1, 3-0 on these hitters.
And on 3 occasions, make it 4 today, he has put runners on with a base hitter a walk with 2 away, as he has done here in this inning. As you see Geisel and Jackson heating up. And there's a pass to Greg Nettles. That is the 3rd walk issued by Jim Gott this afternoon. His first since the 3rd. Fergie?
You know, Don, what I've noticed here is Jimmy Gott appears to be throwing harder this inning. And I think, Bobby, that Gott is trying to overpower the hitters.
Well, he's been successful up till now by not doing that. And you would hope that he would go back to his rhythm that he had earlier in the game.
He'll pitch now to Rick Cerrone, who struck out and rolled a grounder down to the first baseman, Willie Upshaw. On the base pass, Griffey at second. Greg Nettles, the veteran, at first. Yankees again alive and struggling here in the inning, but Mullenix takes that hard shot on one hop and throws out Cerrone to end the inning. So again, Gott gets himself himself out of a bucket of hot water as the Blue Jays hold that 2-0 lead, heading for the home half of the 6th inning. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Can your car stop on a dime? This one didn't. Make sure yours can. Take a look at the brakes on this car. Scored drums, worn linings, and seized calipers. A lot depends on your car being able to stop. You can trust One Stop Brake because we've got the experience, the quality parts and products, and the first-class equipment to keep your car's brakes in top condition. At One Stop Brake, we have to be good because brakes are our only business.
Budweiser salutes all the people who make the music we love.
There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. For all you do, our best to you.
Yeah, this Bud's for you if you like your beer with that distinctively clean, crisp, Beechwood aged taste and smoothness that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud for you.
You know, you don't have to be inside a bank to do most of your regular banking. You can do it all easily and conveniently with Commerce Instant Teller. And if you want, outside of regular banking hours, you can make deposits, withdraw cash, transfer funds, even pay many bills. In fact, Instant Teller can do almost anything except talk. What are you waiting for? Apply for Instant Teller today. You can count on the Commerce.
Here in the dugout, and of course, along with Ernie Witt, they're talking about Jimmy Gott, whether to leave him in or not, but they're going to leave him in.
Well, he has pitched 6 innings of pretty good work for the Blue Jays, but they've got to be becoming more and more concerned about the jams Jim has gotten himself into. So far out successfully as Alexander pitches to Willie Upshaw here. Now 90 pitches thrown in those 6 innings by Jim Gott. Fouled off by Upshaw, so it is 2 strikes. Behind him, Cliff Johnson and Ernie Witt in the Blue Jay batting order here in the 6th. Toronto 2 runs and 5 hits. Yankees nothing on 6. Alexander will get a rundown on the number of pitches he has thrown. Have to watch the Yankees will for him tiring here. Just 65, so he's in better shape than Gott.
Alexander's philosophy of pitching is like Eddie Lopez was. If you're in trouble, throw it easier.
Alexander, it's an easy out of Willie Upshaw. 1 away. That'll bring up Cliff Johnson. And we talked about Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, the other bygone greats. We'll get a little Canadian interest on that in just a moment. But Jacket Day will be at Exhibition Stadium May the 8th when the Kansas City Royals check in. So that means that youngsters 14 and under receive a free Blue Jay jacket that day. It's also Mother's Day, so it's a nice combination for a family day at the ballpark. The merry month of May. Johnson, ball 1. Fans watching today all over Saskatchewan and Saskatoon, Yorkton, Lloydminster, Regina, other CTV stations must be thinking back to the 1920s when so many players came from Saskatchewan to play out their careers after the famous scandal of the 1920s. In the 1920s they came, and there was the long throw to get Johnson out of there. Shoeless Joe Jackson was one of them. You remember him, Bobby?
He was a good hitter. My father played on the club White Sox years ago, about 3 or 4 years before that, but I know this much. All the old timers say he's one of the better hitters that's ever been in the game.
Since that era, the 20s, there have been great baseball fans across Saskatchewan ever since. Some pretty good ball players still coming out of there, like Terry Poole with the Houston Astros. Ernie Witt, opposite field for him, sends a long foul ball deep into the seats, third base side. Ernie had a single to the second, then grounded the second baseman Randolph in the third.
Looked to me like Winfield's leg is bothering when he ran after that ball. Something, a hamstring or ankle. They can't afford to take him out, though, because he is some kind of hitter.
The way the wind is behaving, it'll force ball players to make some jackrabbit starts on balls. It could be a factor for Winfield as Witt fouls it back.
0-2. Let's take another look at it. See if he's taking good strides.
Pulling up a little bit there. Looks like he did something.
Kind of limping around.
Good work down there in the truck, guys. Tom McKee, Michael Lansbury, producer and director, as the ball gets away from Rick Cerrone. It is 1-2. Bringing you a total of over 30 Blue Jay games across the CTV network this year. Looking for a good schedule. And a good performance from the Blue Jays, the team that everybody is tagged as a club on the rise. And the only question seems to be how far they're going to go initially in this season of 83. But still playing in the toughest division in baseball, the American League East, which has other teams making strides and improvements as well. Witt fouling this one back to hold the count.
The one thing about the Blue Jays, Don, I noticed in spring training, and I think it emanates all the way down from the front office down, even to minor leagues. There's great spirit in the whole thing. Bobby Cox, of course, has a lot to do with it. I think there's other people connected with the organization to do too. But the spirit of the whole organization has turned around.
Well, that's typified by Dave Steve, who you know was dying a year or so ago to be with a contender, and they asked him if he still feels that way, and he says yes, and I'm with one now.
Well, that's good. I'm glad Dave was certainly signed with him, because he's going to be a valuable man.
He'll start tomorrow. And Shane Raleigh, as Ernie Witt hits that past Randolph, his second base hit of the day. Witt remained in the battle with Alexander and finally won it. Goes 2 for 3. Ball tailing away from him, and Witt right on top of it. That'll bring on Hoskin Powell with Ernie at first base and 2 gone. Powell flied out and struck out today. Still hitless on the year. Down and in for ball 1. Yankees 1-2 on the year. Blue Jays 1-1.
Hoskin just doesn't like that off-speed stuff. He doesn't like that soft stuff. He wants that hard, high fastball.
Don't get too much of that from Alexander as he takes Powell out of there for the 3rd time today, and he stranded Ernie Witt. That is the 4th Blue Jay left on the base path this afternoon. 6 complete. It is still Toronto 2 and New York nothing. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Hey, Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
These Velveeta slices taste so good.
How good?
These Velveeta slices taste so good.
Now, some ham.
Don't put any ham on mine.
Velveeta processed cheese food slices from Kraft. No ordinary slice tastes so good.
Carve that powder into ribbons. This is where the freedom begins now. In parallel lines against the snow. And now we're smiling. Yes, we're smiling. Blue smiles along with you.
Hey, Woody, I just finished the hardwood floor in your room with this new Valspar polyurethane. It really shines.
Yeah, I know.
There's also Valspar liquid plastic colors. I used red to spruce up your rocker. In fact, there's a Valspar wood finish for everything.
I know.
Really? Just how would you know?
You big dummy. Why do you think I'm so much better looking than you? Valspar Wood Care products for beauty and protection. Take it from someone who really knows what's good for wood.
Well, Hoskin Powell is out of the ball game, and there you see in right field, number 29, Jesse Barfield.
Limbering up after Powell has gone 0 for 3. Give the Blue Jays a little extra defense out there in right field as they'll face Willie Randolph, Jerry Mumphrey, and Dave Winfield, the top of the order, in the New York Yankees 7th. Toronto leads it 2-0.
Jesse Barfield, incidentally, is the possessor of one of the finest arms in the American League.
An absolute gun. Randolph with ball 1-2 him as Gott continues to fall behind these hitters, and now he's getting the ball up higher more consistently.
I don't think Bobby will go along with him too far. What I'm saying is, if he walks this man, I wouldn't be a bit surprised that if these fellows are warm, they might make a change.
I think Jackson and Geisel are indeed just about ready right now as you see them. Joey McLaughlin now is on the left warming for the Blue Jays. Roy Lee Jackson did pitch in Boston 3 full perfect innings the other day. And Gott throws a strike to him. 2-2. The pattern continues. Fall behind, get even, and then get the man in so many cases for Jim Gott this afternoon. He has to be a source of major frustration for Billy Martin of the Yankees thus far. Popped up. It is going to carry back into the seats. No play for Ernie Witt.
But at the same time, it must be a joy to manager Bobby Cox because it shows maturity on Gott's part that he can get behind hitters and still get them out. Where last year, as I mentioned, I think he got flustered and lost his complete control and so forth. So he's pitching a good game.
And for Gott, that means some pretty good signs for the '83 season if he's displaying this kind of poise and confidence and maturity already. Appeal at first base. Not there. Marty Springstead did not move a muscle down there when they asked for the strike call.
Looks like he's frozen.
Wind still swirling around. That center field camera still a bit unsteady, is having trouble controlling it. There is a pass issued to Willie Randolph. Jim has walked 4 now in the ball game. But always dangerous when the lead man gets on. That is the first time that has happened this afternoon, as far as the Yankees are concerned.
Thing about it, he's missing quite wide. Here comes Bobby now. Well, he's not close to some of his pitches. They're real far away from the strike zone.
Time for Cox to make the evaluation with Gott and Ernie Witt as to whether he'll continue in this ball game. And for now, he will. Bobby Cox, who is fans across the country know came from the Atlanta Braves, brought that team along, and then was let go just as the Braves came on and won a division last year. Did a good job using all the talent he could muster here in Toronto in a platoon system last season. Highly respected. There's the check off at first base for Randolph, not in time. And not really a dissimilar situation for Bobby Cox between Toronto and Atlanta as to how things develop there. Down low, again Gott falling behind. He is 2-0 to Jerry Mumphrey.
He's got to get this hitter out of there if he expects to stay in the game.
Three 3-0. Nobody out. Yankees down a couple of runs. Mumphrey represents the tying run for New York with Randolph at first. Dave Winfield scheduled next. He's reached all 3 times. So let's see how Bobby Cox reacts to this with Winfield coming up.
There's no doubt in my mind he'll be out of there.
Here's the time for the move. Cox peering down into his bullpen. And now he'll make the move. Automatic second trip out. Gott will be relieved, but he has done a superb job so far this afternoon for the Blue Jays. Pitching here on opening day at Exhibition Stadium into the 7th inning against the New York Yankees, and so far shutting them out. And now the base runners are his responsibility, Randolph and Mumphrey. On his way in is Joey McLaughlin. Let's bring in Fergie Ulver.
Joey McLaughlin, you and Roy Lee Jackson, the big stoppers in this ball club out of the bullpen. You've got 3 pitches. Tell us about your most successful pitch, the knuckle curve.
Well,
I usually throw it when I need a ground ball, and so I can get a few strikeouts with it. So I just I don't try to spot it. I just try to throw it to the center of the plate and hope it breaks.
Now, what about your fastball? In a tight situation, what pitch do you go to? Does it depend on the hitter?
Yeah, it depends on the hitter. Most of the time with my, if I have a good fastball that day, I got a riding fastball, not a sinking one. So I'm apt to give up more fly balls with that. So if I got a runner on third base, something like that with less than 1 out or less, and they need a fly ball, I usually go with the breaking ball. If I need a strikeout, I'll go with the fastball.
Well, he will need something pretty good here with Dave Winfield facing him. There is the 82 record of Joey McLaughlin, who also was with the Atlanta Braves back in Bobby Cox's days. Saved 8 last year. And how would you evaluate Joey at this stage through spring training to this his first appearance?
I think Joey McLaughlin's got good stuff. It's just a matter of him getting his emotions toned down a little. He gets so tense and high, but when he's can control himself, he's one of the top relief pitchers in the game.
He did have 1 inning as Jim Gott puts the jacket on, through with a job well done for the Blue Jays this afternoon. McLaughlin did not give up a hit, a walk or a strikeout in that brief appearance in Boston. So Gott places things in the hands of McLaughlin with Mumphrey at first, Randolph at second, both on walks. Nobody out. Yankees down 2-0. Teams even in hits at 6. Berge?
Yeah, Don, I noticed when Bobby Cox was making his way out to the mound, he looked back over his shoulder and yelled at Al Widmar, "Get Roy Lee Jackson up right away."
He was up earlier. They brought him back, and he's warming now as Winfield stands in. On base 3 times, the base hit and 2 walks. Lachlan up high, jams him, sends him back for ball 1. Behind Winfield, Steve Kemp, and then Don Baylor. It's a long, long path out of the woods here for the Blue Jays in the 7th inning. Away and down. Winfield not going for it, 2-0, so McLaughlin falls behind as God had done so often earlier.
Be interesting to see now if Billy lets Winfield swing away if that ball's in there. I would think he would.
Definitely a major league assignment out of the bullpen for McLaughlin pitching to these guys. Just missing there. 3-0, close pitch.
He was taking all the way, too.
Yep. 3 balls, no strikes. And he loads them up, walking Winfield. The 3rd pass Winfield has taken today. Nobody out, and Steve Kemp coming to the plate with Randolph around to 3rd, Mumphrey at 2nd, and Winfield parked at 1st. And back comes Bobby Cox out to the mound.
Bobby will want to get out of here if he can with 1 run. He'd be very happy if he could.
And he's going to bring on the left-hander Geisel to face the left-handed hitting Steve Kemp. Which is the only move on this pitching staff he could make in the way of getting a left-hander against Steve Kemp. Geisel is it for the Blue Jays staff. Geisel had a pretty good spring, Bobby.
He threw better this spring than I've ever seen him throw, Don, and I think he's been in 1 game, hasn't he, of the 2 over Boston, and he did well then.
Yes. So McLaughlin pitches to 1 batter.
He's got a tough assignment, probably as tough as any relief pitcher can face. The bases loaded, and Steve Kemp, the hitter.
And a reminder that tomorrow at 1:30, Yankees and Blue Jays right back here. If you're in the Toronto area, you'll see a good ball game and get a chance to Get in later on in the season for a game free of charge. The Blue Jays gift certificate, good for an $8.50 seat for any future game for which field level chairs are available, one per person. No matter which price range you purchase tomorrow, you get that $8.50 gift certificate. We'll be here with you. For those of you who can't make it, of course, our fans across Canada on the CTV network for Game 2 of this series at 1:30 Eastern Time. Geisel, a win and a loss in 82. .398 earned run average. We'll see a lot of the Yankees the next little while because we'll have them at Yankee Stadium at 2 Eastern Time next Sunday, the 17th.
The ideal situation for Geisel and the Blue Jays would be if he could strike Kemp out. That's a real tough assignment. Then the next best one, I would think, would be to hit a ground ball for a double play and get out of it with 1 run if they possibly could.
Well, the Yankee base runners staying warm. They expect to be sent into action by the bat of Steve Kemp, who had a 2-base hit on the 3rd. There's a top out in the 1st inning off the glove of Upshaw, covered nicely by Garcia, across to the pitcher God, and a fly ball to left field by Kemp in the 5th. So there they are, all stacked up against the Jays, and their third pitcher of the day, Dave Geisel, as this 2-0 lead, which has been threatened several times by the Yankees, is in a most precarious position right now. Nobody out. Roy Lee Jackson remains in the bullpen, warming from the right side. Inside, ball 1. Of course, falling behind is so tough in this situation with a hitter like Kemp. He can be very selective. Very selective indeed now at 2-0.
This is what drives managers up a tree, base on balls and getting behind hitters, Don.
Aren't you glad you're sitting where you are right now?
Sure am.
Bobby Cox not enjoying this. Strike taken. 2-1. That was a big pitch for Geisel right there. Shortstop got a chance for 2. They get the double play and give up a run. So 2 gone. It's a 2-1 ball game. Randolph scoring from third base on the play.
Tell you, Damaso Garcia to me made a great play. Griffith didn't give him that ball too well, and he was way out of position, and he got something on the ball. Garcia made that play. There's the ball hit right at Griff. Now watch Griff give him the ball. See how Garcia's out of position to throw? Get something on it, too. Just beat him.
Well, you got one of your wishes. That was the double play ball from Kemp.
Well, that's what you hope for if you don't get a strikeout or a pop-up.
That's how close the play was at first base. Made possible by that man, Damaso Garcia. So Don Baylor with Mumphrey around to third base on the play, and Bobby Cox coming out to talk with Geisel. And he'll make the change to the right-hander, Roy Lee Jackson, to face the right-handed hitting Don Baylor.
Incidentally, that ball Kemp hit was well-hit ball.
He crunched it. But again, the Blue Jays, as you know, Bobby Manick, very solid up the middle.
They sure are, and they can make that double play. Griff and Damaso as good as any in the league, I think.
I know, not wishing Tony Fernandez any bad luck, Garcia was really hoping Griffin would make this team because they become a combination.
Well, Fernandez, fans around Canada and the United States are going to hear plenty from Fernandez. He's all-star material, and it's just a matter of time until he breaks in there.
There's no rush. Kid's 20 years old. There's all kinds of time. So Roy Lee Jackson, as we told you earlier, so effective at Fenway Park, retiring 9 Red Sox in a row in support of the Dave Steve victory, 7-1 in the opening game. Came from the New York Mets to the Blue Jays, 28 years of age. He's matured as a pitcher, and he's lost some weight this year, too, which has made him more effective.
Roy Roy Lee has a little inconsistency about him so far until this year. He's got good stuff, and he should be a good pitcher.
Well, while he warms, let's check in once again with Fergie.
Roy Lee Jackson, you have lost 17 pounds since last season. You pitched 3 scoreless innings in Boston. Do you feel that might be the big reason why?
Well, I think maybe that might have, you know, a little bit to do with it. But I think the fact, too, that, you know, I'm ready to pitch, you know, and I feel really good, and I'm in good shape, and my arm's in good shape, and, you know, and being able to really concentrate, which I was able to do in Boston, I think that was the main thing.
I think the best thing, and the thing that all relief pitchers should remember, is to get ahead of the hitters. That's what you did in Boston. In other words, you came out of the bullpen, you weren't throwing balls. You were throwing strikes.
Well, you know, like you said, you know, it's a lot easier to pitch when you're ahead of the hitters, you know, and that was the main thing that I wanted to do, especially since we, you know, we had the lead. And when you know, you're ahead of the hitter, you have a better chance of, you know, making your pitches instead of when you get behind, you got to come in and throw strikes. And 9 out of 10 times when you get behind the hitter, you're going to have to come in with fastballs.
And he comes inside of Don Baylor with the first pitch with 2 out. Humphrey at third.
That's where you have to try to pitch Baylor and have him go after it. They jammed him once before in this game, Gott did, and hopefully they can do it again.
Baylor having a tough day, a tough early season, hitting 111 coming in. As you saw, has gone 0 for 3. Check swings that foul. So it's 1-1. Baylor has grounded twice to third base. Mullenix and fly to left field. Dave Collins out there. Reminder again, they'll go at it a second time tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time, and we'll be here on the CTV network over many of these stations with that ball game for you. Seeing a good one today as Baylor goes around for strike 2. Bobby Cox, after a couple of walks here, has made some very swift pitching moves from Gott to McLaughlin to Geisel, now to Roy Lee Jackson. His hottest bullpen man at this moment of the season. Hit hard but foul. It holds at 1-2.
He got that slider up a little, and I would imagine the next pitch now, let's just see. I think he'll come in with the fastball and try to crowd him with it, hoping that Baylor will go after it and get jammed. But he better get it in there. If he gets it out over the plate, Baylor can put it up in the stands.
How many times have we seen that? More activity in the Blue Jay bullpen. That's Randy Moffett, newcomer. Another newcomer, young Jim Acker, made this team at spring training. Just inside.
There it was.
Yep. A little too tight. It's 2-2.
Baylor didn't go after it.
Goes after this. It is a fair ball off the glove of Mullenix, and the tying run is home, scored by Jerry Mumphrey. Around the second goes Don Baylor on the 2-2 pitch down the line.
There was a slider out over the plate, and Baylor reached out, had good extension on it, and hit it good.
Look at the effort Mullenix made just to get his glove on it and deflect it, stop it from going all the way into the outfield. Good goaltending right there, but not enough to prevent the Yankees from getting the tying run.
One thing about Don Baylor in his career, he's been an RBI guy.
This is Roy Smalley, 1 for 3. To Garcia, spears that, and that will take care of a big Yankee 7th inning in which they get the tying run scored by Randolph and Mumphrey. Walks the Blue Jays' biggest enemy there, and 3 of them. This is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Ladies
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, presenting the all-new 46th edition of the entertainment giant, Garden Brothers Circus. This complete entertainment production is yours to enjoy as Garden Brothers Circus presents a spectacular extravaganza featuring throngs of thrilling animals, suspenseful aerial artists, side-splitting circus clowns, glittering production numbers, fabulous feature performers, and much, much more.
Garden Brothers Circus, Kitchener Auditorium this weekend, London Gardens, April 15, 16, and 17.
Start cutting next winter's heating costs now with Union Gas. Buy a conventional gas furnace and get an energy-saving thermostat at no extra cost. Choose a high-efficiency gas furnace and get a $100 manufacturer's rebate. Switch to a gas rental water heater at the same time, and Union Gas will pay up to $90 towards its installation. Get the full story. Call Union Gas toll-free at 1-800-265-0562 and start cutting next winter's heating costs now.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge with Chevy S10, Canada's hot-selling new size pickup with standard V6 power that lets you out-tow Ford Ranger by 500 pounds and tow twice as much as any import, taking charge with the best pickup 4-cylinder and V6 gas mileage ratings. Chevy S10 pickup, maxi cabin blazer, no other trucks compare.
Now, your Chevy dealers taking charge with low 10.9% financing available on S10 pickups.
B.J. Birdie's back to lead the Blue Jay fans in their 7th inning stretch here at Exhibition Stadium. People from Fitness, Ontario, and no problem getting people up to move today just to stay warm in this windy home opener here at Exhibition Stadium, 7 Celsius. Grant Smolnick's the brand new ball game on our hands. Leads it off to the Blue Jays in the 7th. The team's tied at 2. Walks the undoing of the Blue Jay pitching staff for the Yankees in that previous inning. And down to the second baseman, Randolph. He makes the first out quickly. This is Lloyd Mosby. An RBI single in the 2nd and a pop-up to the shortstop, Smalley, in the 4th. Strike 1 from Doyle Alexander, who looked still plenty strong enough. He did not throw anywhere near the amount of pitches Jim Gott did when Gott left the ball game. And he missed outside for 1-1. Right now, Alexander at the 98 pitch mark. Lloyd had a notion.
He took a lot off of that. That was a change-up off of a change-up, I believe, Don. He really slowed that ball up.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Reaching foul, it's still 1-2. On deck is Alfredo Griffin. Well, you had the feeling that 2 runs may not be enough to hold up the way the Yankees were challenging every inning, and something had to happen, and it did. 3 walks in a row. Yanks get 2. Tying it. Mosby taking it down low. It is 2-2.
They're jamming the middle up. Smalley's playing close to second. So is Randolph on a left-hand hitter. So they figure guys won't try to pull Alexander, but they'll try to go up the middle with him. You see the alignment of Randolph and Smalley.
Wind still blowing in from right field. Not a plus for Lloyd, who sends it along the artificial turf to Randolph for the second out. Alfredo Griffin has walked, got caught off first base as he slipped trying to come back and fly to center field in the 2nd inning. Tees it off foul.
Billy's going to make Griff hit his way on there. He's got Nettles way in at third and Griffey way in at first. He's not going to let Griff drag or bunt his way on. They're way in on him.
Fouls it away left side, 0-2. Griffin could add 25 or 30 points to his average to go with his sparkling glove, Bobby. He'd really be something, wouldn't he?
He sure would, and we try to get him to bunt and drag for a long time. He's doing it more this year and this spring than I've ever seen him do.
Did that on Thursday. It surprised everybody. They weren't looking for it. And Willie Upshaw was at third base. He wasn't looking for it either. Blue player of the game we'll have for you when this one is over. That'll take some thought. Griffin on his way to first base is thrown out by the catcher, Rick Cerone. So it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for the New York Yankees, and the Blue Jays 7. His tie score 2 still holds. Ball getting away from Cerone. Griffin not able to beat out the throw. So we've gone through 7 complete, tied at 2. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
You worked hard to buy your home, and you put a lot of hard work into building your equity in it. Why not let an Avco Homeworth loan help put that equity to work for you, for your children's education, and all the other plans and dreams you and your family have shared for so many years? Isn't it about time you started enjoying some of the worthwhile things you've been missing? After all, there's so much in life waiting for you. Avco Homeworth loans for the worthwhile things in life.
Now is a good time to fertilize your lawn with one of CIL's lawn foods. CIL lawn foods contain controlled release nitrogen, so over the summer your lawn is continuously fed and cared for. And that means a thick, beautiful lawn for you and your family to enjoy. This spring, use one of CIL's lawn foods like premium quality golf green or try Kerry Grow. Then sit back and enjoy your lawn and your summer.
When it comes to feeling young, a lot of it's up here.
3 years ago, Maurice Richard said goodbye gray hair. Hello, Grecian Formula 16.
It was so easy, remember?
Grecian's as easy to use as water. Works for any color hair.
The change was so gradual and looked so natural, no one even noticed. Today, I still leave a touch of gray. The wife likes it.
Hey, Richard, 2 minutes for looking so good.
Look as young as you feel with Grecian Formula 16, liquid or cream.
Ken Griffey starts off the New York 8th inning, being thrown out by Damaso Garcia. Don't have the attendance figures yet, but it's a good opening day crowd for the Blue Jays. People moving around here, getting refreshments back and forth all the time. Accounts for a few empty seats. The cold may have done a few of them in with the wind today. 7 Celsius still. Greg Nettles. Fly to right, pop to short, walk to the 6th inning. And it is outside the Nettles for ball 1. That's a look in from the center field camera. As Nettles has a strike thrown to him by Roy Lee Jackson, who is the 4th Blue Jay pitcher of the day. Two and one now. A couple of Blue Jays broke into the major leagues on this date, April 9th, exactly 5 years ago. Garth Orge and Willie Upshaw, both in Detroit. And there's Willie Upshaw coming up with a second out unassisted. Getting Greg Nettles. Upshaw went 1 for 2. Orge 1 for 3 in his debut.
They both have been good additions to the Blue Jays.
Here's Rick Cerone. High to him. The Yankees are the biggest draw of anybody in the American League coming into Toronto over the years. 33 times the Yanks have been here until today, and they've averaged close to 29,000. Royley Jackson having gotten Griffey and Nettles to the first 2 outs here. As that one popped back foul for a 2-1 count. Gave up the base hit to Don Baylor, and then got Roy Smalley to end the 7th inning when he came in after Gott, McLaughlin, and Geisel. Royley Jackson now is retired 13. They get 14 of the 15 back. Oh, that's safe at first base.
They pulled off the base.
Here comes Bobby Cox. Willie Upshaw not totally in agreement. Marty Springstead down there at first base saying, no, the man is safe. The foot came off the bag. And at this stage, that is a big break for the Yankees.
It sure is. Griffith played that ball one-handed and flipped it, and he was a little short on the throw. Willie Upshaw dug it out of the dirt. He stayed on that bag
sure
long
did.
enough, I thought. Sure did. I think the umpire blew that one.
From that angle, I would tend to agree with you. Let's have one more look down from another angle. Watch Willie Upshaw when he comes into the picture, and his foot. Well, not so convinced there. But a very, very close play. They certainly had Cerone beaten by a couple of steps. Springstead said the foot came off the bag. Yankees are alive here in the 8th inning with 2 gone. Cerone at first base. I want to see this one more time. Watch the foot now. Oh, he's there.
I think so.
Marty, I think you owe the Blue Jays one.
Another thing, that's a tough call for this reason. The first baseman's come off of that bag pretty quick at times, so maybe he was thinking that, but
it's not an easy job umpiring, especially in a situation like this. Never mind Springstead having to live with the Blue Jays' wrath of the call. How about one of those as a bell ringer? Marty or Durwood Merrill behind the plate. One and one to Randolph. Past Benedicts. 3 base hits now given up by Royley Jackson. Yankees on first and second with still 2 out.
Now they got the potential go-ahead run in scoring position.
That is Cerone after that controversial call at first base.
That's why the Yankees are going to be tough on down through the whole season, over 160 some odd games. They've got guys that can swing that bat. If one guy doesn't do it, somebody else will pick him up. Now you got Muffrey, who's a 300 hitter most of the time in his life.
He is 1 for 3 and a walk today. The Yankees have stranded 10 base runners so far, and the Blue Jays would be delighted if they make it 12 right here. Must have suffered a loss of concentration right there. Looked like he had a good line on it.
The ball wasn't that low either, Don.
No.
The ball was up around just a little below his belt, and the ball should have been caught. There's no doubt about that.
Twice now this inning should have been over. And looked to be right there until Jesse let it go. course, the move was made. Barfield in for Hoskin Powell for some late inning defense, ironically. So a tough play for Barfield. I do not have the scoring. I would imagine it's got to be an error. As Bobby Maddox said, it wasn't that low. Any event, it results in 2 Yankee runs. Dave Winfield up there now, and indeed it has been scored as a fielding error by Barfield. First error of the game. There goes the bat. Look out. Hello, Blue Jay dugout. Winfield had a habit of doing that at spring training almost on a regular basis. In games against the Jays, they've seen bats come flying out of his hands before.
There's a slider out away from him.
Now the 2 errors in the play, one to Barfield. Then, as Mosby mishandled the ball, they determined that allowed the second run to score, preventing a throw from the plate. So a rough play for the Blue Jay outfielders there. Winfield cranks it up foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mumphrey at second base. This all happened with 2 gone here in the 8th inning. Cerrone given a base hit as the umpire at first ruled that Upshaw took his foot off the bag the moment he caught the ball. And Randolph getting his single. And then Jerry Mumphrey having Barfield drop a sinking fly ball in right field. Mononix makes sure of that one. And finally, this inning is over. But it cost the Blue Jays the go-ahead runs by the Yankees as they collect a couple. 4-2 New York now as we head for the bottom of the 8th inning. And this is Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
I think it's better, especially when you feel pressured, to do what you think is right, and not just what your friends think is okay. When I look in the mirror, I want to feel I haven't let myself down.
For information on the effects and health hazards of marijuana and hashish, write, Stay Real, Box 8888, Ottawa.
When you're feeling up and your friends are near, friends are near, Labatt's Light, all you want in a beer, all you want in a beer. Now ain't that nice, so nice, Labatt's Light all night, Labatt's Light all night, tastes light and smooth, so smooth, and goes down so nice, and goes down so nice. Get a Labatt's Light.
Robert Shaw and Jacqueline Bisset star in The Deep, Saturday at midnight on CKCO TV.
We head for the home half of the 8th inning. Blue Jays trailing the Yankees 4-2 now. Damaso Garcia, Dave Collins, Willie Upshaw scheduled. Doyle Alexander hanging in there. The New York starter today. Garcia with his base hit to lead off the ball game has flied twice to center field after that. Oh, how costly the errors and the walks have been for Toronto today. Garcia off the glove of Alexander. It's going to be a tough play. Thrown away past the first baseman. Griffey, and on his way to second base is Damaso Garcia.
You have to give him a hit on that ball.
A hit and second base on the throw. There's the submarine toss across to first base, way wild.
I don't think Billy's going to monkey around too long, though.
That's it for Doyle.
Oh, Goose is coming in. Goose Gossage.
A perfect situation. The 8th inning. 2-run lead to protect.
Cold weather.
He is the man that you would go to, and Billy Martin certainly has. Goose Gossage.
Let's have a look at that controversial play. Rick Cerrone, the batter, the throw to first base. We want to have another look because Upshaw and Bobby Cox felt that he tagged Cerrone. Now watch the glove. See the glove come down. There he tags him. Does he tag him? That's the big question right there. We'll take another angle, and that's what the argument about. The argument was not about whether he pulled his foot off the bag, but Willie felt that he had tagged Rick Cerrone. Of course, there was 2 away. He would have been the 3rd out. Instead, the Yankees go on. There's the tag right there. The Yankees go on to score 2 runs in that inning.
So we had 2 little controversies there in that same play at first base. So the Goose heats up for the Yankees with Garcia at second base. Nobody out for Dave Collins, the batter.
Those are some real stats right there, Don. 93 innings pitched, 63 hits, and 100 and some odd strikeouts.
He is awesome. He's just pitched to a couple of batters here so far in this season, so he's fresh and ready here for this challenge. Dave Collins takes for ball 1. Collins, who has been frustrated so far today, hitting into a double play, popping up and grounding out. Like to even the score with the Yankees right here. Not a happy man last year in New York. Ironically, having considered Toronto seriously, turning them down to go to New York, and then winding up back here to trade this season. Outside corner, Collins doesn't like the call, but it's 1 and 2.
He just rears back and pumps it in there.
On the corner, plate umpire Derwin Merrill said. That is way inside, no question, for 2 and 2.
The Blue Jays are a better fastball hitting ball club, but this fastball's got to be classified better than a fastball. He may be one of the hardest throwers in the league.
As we say, exactly the man that Billy Martin wants in this situation. 8th inning. Nobody out. Garcia at second base. Outside, count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Upshaw and Johnson representing power scheduled next for the Blue Jays. Gossage loses Dave Collins. Runners at first and second for Willie Upshaw.
Well, now a manager has to make a decision, a home team. Does he want to go for a tie, have Willie bunt the guys over, get him in scoring position where Cliff Johnson may hit him in, or is he going to let Willie hit? I believe he's going to let Willie hit. We'll see very shortly. I think Gossage is a hard pitcher to bunt, too.
Right through the middle it goes, and Upshaw's driven in the Blue Jays' 3rd run today. Garcia scored. A 4-3 ball game.
He laid that ball in there. He might have thought Willie was going to bunt. Willie just took a good cut at it and singled right up the middle.
Cut Gossage going the other way in his follow-through. Just past the glove of Smalley. And here was Garcia motoring home.
Now, Cliff Johnson's a good fastball hitter, Don. He doesn't like the breaking stuff as much as he does the fastball. And I would think he's a very bad bunter, so I would think Bobby might have him hitting away.
Well, a base hit.
There's a better possibility of Johnson hitting in the double play and Upshaw, but I still think Bobby will have him hit.
Berge?
Don, it looks like he might be bunting. Let's wait and see.
Not sure the Yankees are prepared for that. Nettles in maybe a step beside third base. There is the bunt laid down beautifully. Johnson moves the runners up. One away. They're at second and third for Ernie Whitt. Collins around to third. Upshaw parked at second, and that was a fine
He made a beautiful bunt. He couldn't have thrown it any better.
That's right. While Nettles, Collins reaches third, was in maybe a step. It was a half-hearted step. I don't think they really believed that Heathcliff would do that, but his execution was superb.
He might be a better bunter than I don't know much about him bunting. I haven't seen that much of him.
Ernie Whitt takes ball one from Gossage, who's in hot water now. A fly ball can tie this ball game. Whitt hit singles in the second and sixth innings. Pops that up. Shallow right field. Randolph ranging back. Look out, they lose it, and the game is tied. The Yankees collide in the outfield. Look at this.
There's three of them converge there, and all three of them hit about the same time, I think. The ball falls safe. Where's the other one? There they are, all three of them.
This will be an opening day to remember in many ways. It was the appearance, I thought, of Kemp from right field that really forced the ball free. Randolph backing into Mumphrey, and Kemp joined the party. While I said Randolph called for it, I could only assume that's what he had done. If he did, nobody heard him.
Well, it's fortunate nobody got hurt in that jam. I guess that's what Martin's thinking now.
What do you give the error to? Do you charge 3 errors? It goes to the right fielder Kemp, so indeed he caused the mess in the scorer's view. Jesse Barfield now with a glorious chance to atone for the ball he dropped that cost the Jays the Yankees go-ahead run. Cracks it to left field.
He did.
Goodbye. Home run. Jesse Barfield parks it over the left field wall, and they're going crazy in Toronto.
He really hit that high fastball. He got a fastball up high to Jesse, and Jesse jumped on it. Here it is. Boom.
Up and away as Winfield watched it go. So indeed, this will be an opening day to remember. One story unfolding after another here. And Rance Mullenix with the bases clear now. The Jays in a 7-4 lead. Still just one out. Has a 2-2 count. Blue Jays with 3 hits. The New York Yankee error to Kemp and a base on balls. Long throw for Nettles has Mullenix out of there, the second out. And Lloyd Moseby, the 8th Blue Jay hitter in the 8th inning, steps up now. inside for ball one. Bobby, anybody who got out of the cold or decided to go home early when the Yankees went ahead 4-2, I think might have made a mistake today.
They missed all the action, Don.
At his high, Gossage having trouble fighting that plate has not been impressive in here. Martin made the right move at the right time to go to his ace fastball hurler. It has backfired. 3-0.
It's so important in baseball when you get an out, you better take it. For instance,
Yes.
I'm talking about that fly ball that those three guys ran together on.
Strike on the outside corner will hold Mosby there for at least one more pitch. A dramatic 8th inning turnaround for Toronto as he grinds that one foul. Full count to Lloyd Mosby. Garcia's base hit. Collins won. Upshot driving in Garcia made it 4-3. Johnson with a great sacrifice bunt. Then the collision on Ernie Witt's fly ball to shallow right center field. And now we have a walk to Lloyd Mosby. Barfield's home run, the capper, to make it 7-4 Toronto. And this inning isn't over yet. Pat Gillick has joined us here in the booth, the Blue Jays general manager. I don't think he's seen an opening day with his club like this. Enjoying it along with the rest of the people. The crowd, as they check off at first base on Mosby, is the third largest in Blue Jay history. 36,459 here this afternoon. Gossage with a pitch out, and Mosby staying pretty close to home.
Mosby's a potential threat of stealing a base, and they know it. But wisely, Bobby didn't have him going in.
Back in time. Keeping Mosby at home, not wanting to go down 4 runs into the top of the 9th inning. The action now between Gossage and Griffey in pursuit of Mosby, with Griffin standing there with a 1-0 count. Looked a bit high, but it is strike called as Griffin looks back at the umpire. Reminder again, 1:30 tomorrow, game 2 of this series scheduled here. We'll have it over many of these CTV stations. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Griffin. And a week from tomorrow, Sunday the 17th, from Yankee Stadium, Jays and Yankees will collide again. Mosby on his way to second base. He's there. So the execution suddenly coming together for the Blue Jays. Mosby going in hand first, beats the throw. Don't like that pitch. Neither does Griffin, but it's a called 3rd strike, and the inning is over as the Blue Jays hit around. Toronto now leads at 7-4. We head for the 9th. Well, that's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
This is the 1983 Lawn Boy Supreme, powered by an engine designed to last 50% longer than most other lawnmower engines. This Lawn Boy can do the work of 5 lawnmowers. It cuts, side bags, rear bags, mulches. It'll even shred leaves. Summer after summer, year after year, the hard-working 5-in-1 lawnmower by Lawn Boy. Lawn Boy. As time goes by, you'll know why.
With cars, a little problem can lead to big trouble if it isn't discovered in time. That's why Gulf dealers offer a year-round car care program with special maintenance packages 4 times a year. Right now, it's the spring tune-up. Look for the signs at participating dealers. A well-maintained car just has to work better and save you a lot of trouble. Gulf, we perform. You get the value.
live from L.A., the 55th Annual Academy Awards, Monday at 9 on CKCO TV.
Barry Bonnell will play left field here in this 9th inning. Dave Collins giving way to him as the New York Yankees are down 3 runs suddenly. Steve Kemp, Don Baylor, and Roy Smalley are the hitters to face Roy Lee Jackson, scheduled hitters here in the 9th inning, as the Blue Jays are up for 5 at a bizarre home half of the 8th inning. Oddly enough, Jesse Barfield, the man who had looked for a while, had given the Yankees a victory here. With his error in right field, comes right back, atones for it. Billy Martin can't believe it. Barfield's got to be #1 consideration for Labatt's player of the game at this stage. So you can see some strange turnarounds in this game of baseball as Kemp takes ball 1.
Jackson's got to get that first man out if he possibly can and keep those men off the bases now.
Slow roller as Garcia moves in for it. Had trouble getting it out of his glove, and the runner is safe. Got stuck in his glove.
Here's the ball. He's coming in on real easy, but he didn't get a hold of it as he came in, Don. You could see that he was groping for the ball.
So, indeed, the Yankees get that lead runner on. Kemp. Don Baylor cracks that into center field. Kemp holding at second, so runners at first and second, nobody out. And they charged an error on that last play that allowed Steve Kemp to reach for first base.
Brings a tying run to the plate now.
Roy Smalley. The Yankees with 10 hits. The Blue Jays have 9. Round goes Smalley for strike 1. Getting back to Barfield, his turnaround today. You not the man who signed him with the Blue Jays?
I think I know who signed him, Don.
Who signed him?
I signed him.
That's what I mean. Were you not the one?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't understand. Yeah. There's
foul.
Roy Lee's throwing Smalley breaking stuff, and that's good. I mean, that's your potential double play ball, that breaking ball.
We were coasting along with errorless baseball for quite a while. Suddenly a total of 5. 3 Blue Jay errors, 2 Yankee errors, 19 hits in all. The Jays clinging now again to a 7-4 lead as they've been living dangerously all afternoon. On the outside corner, a call. Third strike to send Smalley back to the dugout.
He really made a good pitch, a low outside fastball that hit the corner, and Smalley knew it was a strike, too. Here it comes now. It's going to be low outside. Plenty good strike. Roy knew it.
Now the Jays in a position, if they can get a double play ball, they can end the ball game. Kemp leading off second. Baylor off first. And it's upstairs to Ken Griffey for ball 1. He is 2 for 4 on the day. Both singles, 2nd and 6th innings. Good save, blocked by the catcher Ernie Witt.
He's getting behind him now, or he has to come in with it. I'm sure that this weather, cold weather, has hurt some of these defensive plays that we've seen. Guys stiffen up after they've been out there for a while.
It's bound to be a factor. Jackson's 2-0. Off his glove. They have the play at first. Jackson reacted in time to get at least 1. And what could have been a double play ball if it had gone through the second baseman.
I think it was a cinch double play ball if he'd let it gone through. But as you say, Don, he made a real recovery on it, made a good throw, and got at least one out.
So the two runners, of course, move up. Kemp to third and Baylor to second for Greg Nettles. With 2 out now. There are the base runners. Royley Jackson now an out away from clinching this Toronto victory, which will be his to claim. But first, the business of getting Mr. Nettles out of there, and it's ball 1.
He's trying to keep the ball down on him. That's a cinch. Nettles likes that high fastball also. It's going to be almost impossible for Nettles to hit one out in this wind.
From the left side to right field, it certainly would be. Outside, 2-0. Jackson digs himself another hole, but that's been a familiar story for Blue Jay pitchers this afternoon. God invented that pattern today. And Nettles hits it to right field. Barfield stops, makes the play as the wind simply killed the ball.
It's just a thrill again, a thrill to end the ball game. He slipped a little, but he came back and made the play.
And fittingly, after what happened to him earlier, and of course getting the big home run that gave the Blue Jays their margin of victory, and they do win another home opener 7-4 as Nettles really got into it on another day with different wind. That could be gone.
He hit that ball real well, and like I say, Barfield slipped and then he recovered and made the play.
Look at the wind drive it down. Just there.
Well, it was a good game, Don. A lot of excitement. Gave the hometown fans something to cheer about, something to moan about when they had those 3 walks.
The Blue Jays, Bobby, left an unlucky 13 base runners today. They left a dozen in Seattle the other night. And that has got to be frustrating for Billy Martin and company as the team battled back the 2-0 deficit, tied it, took the lead 4-2. Then the Blue Jays in that bizarre, and there's no other way to describe it, 8th inning, hitting around, scoring the 5 runs, the capper, the big blast by Jesse Barfield. Driving in Upshaw and Witt ahead of him after 3 Yankees converged in shallow right field. Collided there, allowed the inning to go on, and then Barfield's homer came right after that. Goose Gossage gets burned, and Royley Jackson, after pitching superbly in Boston, collects a victory here this afternoon. 7-4 Jays, and this is Labatt's Blue Jays Baseball on CTV.
Hey, guys. Cutting out.
Yeah. Come on, boys. We're moving out of here.
We deserve a break now.
Hey, really glad you're here. Me and the boys and
Smooth, easy drinking 50. What a beer to share.
Me and the boys and our beer. Bringing it home to you. Bringing it home to you. People to see, things to know. How about your Ontario? Bringing it home to you. Bringing it home to you. CKCO-TV.
All right, we're back. The Blue Jays have won their home opener 7-4. The man of the hour, Jesse Barfield. Jesse, what were you thinking when you walked to the plate with the big guy, Goose Gossage, on the mound?
Well, I tell you, Goose, I knew he was going to come at me with his best, and that's his fastball. And yeah, I tell you, he got one up, and friggin' I was waiting for it, and I got it.
Here it is right here, Jesse. Have a look at it on the monitor. There it is, right down the heart of the plate. And I think you hit that one halfway up the left field stands.
I tell you, man, I thank the Lord, friggin', the way things have been happening.
in my career, and I just hope that I can keep it up.
All right, Jesse, had some problems out there in right field, and as you came in after the game, you looked at me, you looked up at those light standers. The lights are on here. People don't realize that at home because it is an afternoon game, and they're bothering you.
Definitely, Frank. It happened to me a little bit last year, too. Anytime I'm playing a left-handed hitter to play, you know, shifting around the other way, a ball hit, you know, semi-low-line drive like the one he hit, it's right in the light, the first fixture, and I hope that they can turn those lights off because it gave Barry some trouble in left field, the same lights up there.
All right, Jesse Barfield, congratulations on the winning hit and the Labatt's player of the game. You're watching Blue Jay Baseball on CTV.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge with the all-new S10 Blazer. Available with a revolutionary Instatrack four-wheel drive system. Shift from freewheeling two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive high and back at any speed. Try that with any other four-wheel drive system, import or domestic. Taking charge with the most fuel-efficient V6 power available. S10 Blazer. No wonder they're calling it 4x4 Truck of the Year. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
You know, repairs cost so much. It's terrific you're trying to be handy.
What do you mean trying? Peerless makes it easy to be handy. I'm going to hook up this do-it-yourself Peerless faucet, and these are the only tools I'm going to use. Watch. Just insert the flexible copper tubing and turn the special tightener by hand. Bend the tubing by hand, then snap the quick connectors by hand. No tools, and it's finished in a snap.
Water!
And making it easy to be handy, Peerless is peerless.
There are a lot of great things about an early Ontario spring. Unfortunately, what the Ontario winter has done to your lawn isn't one of them. And the sooner you bring it back to life, the better. Canadian Tire can help with our 2177 fertilizer for just $6.99 and our Mastercraft 1263 or 777 fertilizer just $1.99 each during our early spring sale. So get to Canadian Tire for a lawn you can look forward to looking at this summer. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
It's a good feeling when you know you've found a bank you can count on.
I don't count on a bank for too much right now, but someday I will. So I got a savings account at the Commerce.
Who has time to move money between accounts? I have a Commerce combination account. High daily interest, no charge checking. What a combination.
Commerce Senior Services give me special things, like bonus interest.
For new and convenient ways of managing your money, count on the Commerce.
You can count on the Commerce.
Bobby, quite an opening day.
Certainly was, Don. There's some thrills.
7-4, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees, winning it in the 8th inning. Don Chevrier saying so long for Blue Jays baseball.
On CTV Sports, produced in association with TV Labatt and is protected by copyright. Any use of this broadcast without permission is prohibited. The final score, the Blue Jays beat the New York Yankees 7-4. The winning pitcher, Roy Lee Jackson. Labatt's Blue player of the game, Jesse Barfield. Our next telecast is tomorrow, April 10th, 1:30 here at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Check your local listings.
This is the CTV Television Network.